Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful. And the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you gotta get spotted. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Go back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun. Good morning. It is the 28th. I am so amped up today, guys. I can't even tell you. I woke up and I was straight out of bed and like the music was going and today is our day. Let's do it. Coming over straight to the charts overnight. A little bit back and forth, but man, after FOMC and going into the close, the equity indexes really puked, and it is looking like some of these funds that were short GameStop and all of these other names are getting slaughtered and are having to actually close some of their equity positions to cover their losses, which is just insane to me because like they're not out yet. Right? And it looks like they want out and they can't really get out. You guys just have them by the balls. It's just crazy. Anyways, not good for equity indexes. And there's a couple of other things. We'll talk about that in a second here. We're going over to the treasuries. Not a ton of movement there in the treasuries. I think that, you know, even though risk-off sentiment is looking pretty high and maybe the treasuries should be moving up here, we've got some supply coming in today. So that's probably a reason for that. When we come over to the oil, you know, struggling a little bit, but it's still within the channel despite all of the equity weakness, which kind of further lends credit to the theory that this is the large funds having to exit profitable positions to pay for their losses. Now over here in gold kind of not doing really anything. Copper though, copper struggling. So there is some concerns about lockdowns in China, and I think that is kind of weighing on the copper. Here we can see the dollar a little bit higher. Remember that I was mentioning the 90.6 level as a kind of a key technical level that they've had trouble getting through. Well, they busted through it yesterday and then came back, and now on the overnight session they are holding it quite nicely. So that's the dollar. So there's definitely some risk off sentiment. It's not really going into the treasuries. It is going into the dollar somewhat, but not extreme. Then we come over here. Tesla earnings, Apple earnings, both of them down overnight after the earnings. This also weighing on the index. And I have to say, when you got those two, which are a really big part of the index, especially the NASDAQ, that's not a good look. I mean, they've been the drivers. Tesla in particular, one of the key proxies for risk sentiment. A lot of retail traders like trading that and making money off of it, and, you know, doesn't look good. But what you really came here for, right? All of the YOLO plays. We got here GameStop, AMC, BlackBerry, Bed Bath & Beyond, the four that I would be looking at, the ones that are the most popular. But when I look and I read the Wall Street Bets subreddits, everybody keeps saying, just focus on GameStop, concentrate all of our effort on squeezing those guys out first. GameStop up over 40%, something like that overnight. Now, it did not start that way. There was some drama overnight. Some big drama overnight. The subreddit was made private for a moment. They lost the Discord for a moment. My understanding is that is all back. But when that happened, we had a dip and they almost made it to 200. I kind of wish that I had like a limit order sitting out there overnight because I wasn't able to buy my options for Bitcoin. But you know, I've done a little bit more searching on that. I'm thinking that I might be able to do that play And if I come back here and look at the count, I think that we would be okay after that to put some into GameStop if they give us a pullback. Now, I'm not so sure that it's just going to be like bidish up on the open. We might get some pullbacks today, so you only live once. Well, I mean, it's $400, and I think that the chances of it, being worth $800 at some point are pretty good. So, yeah, just don't chase it, right? Just don't chase it. Now, another thing we got to talk about is this whole thing. I mean, I know we talked about it yesterday morning, but there was the report that these large shorts like Melvin Capital and so forth got out of their positions. And a lot of people saying it's not true. It can't be true because the short percentage is still high. I still think that it's likely that they just sold the position to somebody else and that other person is trying to cover it for them. That or they bought and they just bought into other sellers, and there might be a lot of retail traders out there trying to go short on this. Either way, it looks like it could continue. I guess there was another one. I took it off. I don't want to add too many charts, but I think it was ACAX was another one that I really wanted to keep an eye on because, maybe after GameStop, because this was one that also had a high amount of short interest, but you couldn't tell because the insiders owned all the shares. So that's where we're at. That's our plan. Going to try again on the Bitcoin futures, and then after that, we'll look at where we're at. And if GameStop, it gives us a pullback, we might buy some more. Heck, why not buy a little bit of all of them? Okay. Now, since today is our big day, I want you guys to do something really important for me here. Go to the YouTube channel here and click that like button. So we are like one of the first ones to go live. We're early in the morning. We want to get that number of likes as high as we can for when everybody, starts getting on at 7 to 7:30 and starts preparing for the market. So the more likes that we can get here now, the more likely that the stream is going to do well later in the day. And let's see if we can get over 500 again, right? Thank you, Uzi. Next thing is for you guys that have been here for a while. I got Uzi here and Win too. Win, you got to get in the Discord. So I've got some channels in the Discord for you guys. If I can get you in the Veterans channel, and you can, I did turn the robot on.
Winston's mom says, Speculator Seth, did you turn the robot on?
I got it. But Win, if I can get you in Discord, it would be a lot easier for me to see your messages. Heck, we could even get you on voice chat if we can. Jesse Rockwell, this is now my daily trading stream. Thank you so much, Jesse. Mostly we're doing, futures, so we're usually pretty niche, but I mean, this stock stuff is like a real opportunity. I want to take as much advantage of it as I can. What are you looking at doing with Bitcoin? So there is a stock called MSTR, which is a tech company. And, well, let me pull it up over here. MSTR. They're a tech company, and you can see their performance over the past, few months. And the reason that they're doing as well as they are is because they basically turned their company into a Bitcoin ETF. So I believe that Bitcoin is going to take a dive here soon. They're doing pretty good today. They're up 31, 32, but they're kind of struggling. So I think that in the next month, good catch. When I will change that, it's the 28th. Anyway, so I believe that maybe in the next 1 to 3 months that this is going to have to come back significantly. Good evening from Norway.
Blunt420 says Horizons applies to launch Canada's first Bitcoin ETF for retail investors, including inverse ETF.
Okay, now here in a minute, we're getting a bunch of numbers, right? So let's read the numbers. We got continuing jobless claims. Sorry, initial jobless claims. We're looking for an estimate of 875,000 versus a previous reading of 900,000. And we're going to get average weekly earnings for Canada. GDP price index, we're looking for a reading of 2.4. I just felt an earthquake. I think we're okay. And then wholesale inventories, I don't have an estimate on that. PCE prices, 2.3. New home sales. Man, there's a ton of, okay, those are 8 o'clock. And I'm like, we're pretty loaded up here on the news today. So let's let them do their thing. Oh, why is that over there? Move these over here so I can... What platform am I using to trade? So if you go to my YouTube channel, there is a video called What is the Best Futures Trading Software Platform? And I talk about why I use Jigsaw, Day Trader, and NinjaTrader 8. For the stocks, I'm using Fidelity. I haven't really done a ton of work on the different platforms and stocks. I've tried a bunch of, few, and they're just not as good as futures trading. But I have to say that Fidelity as a broker has done a really good job for me so far. So. Okay, so here we got initial jobless claims, 847, less than the expected 875, but not by a ton. All right, I have to say that's pretty okay. Average weekly earnings year-over-year Canadian 6.6. The continuing jobless claims less than expected at 4.77 million versus 5.054 million. We're still waiting for the GDP numbers here. Building permits, -4.1 versus -5. So far, the numbers we're getting all look pretty good. Top securities regulator in Massachusetts said the New York Stock Exchange should halt trading in GameStop for 30 days so it can cool down. That would just make it worse. These people are so dumb. I have to say, it's startling to me. You still think you can stop it? You can't stop it, guys. They're going to squeeze these guys until that number is under 100%. End of story. The best thing that they can do is just let it keep trading. Go into next week. It probably will start squeezing after these, some of these options expire. And if you are short this thing, you should just get out now. Do I exercise my option and buy 100 shares if the stock price is climbing? Kind of depends on how much money you have in your account and how much money you made off of them. But I don't think it's over. I think it'll continue into next week. Yes. Yep. Winston has the video for you. Thank you, Win. What is the best futures trading software platform? Where I talk about why I use Jigsaw. Wow. Wall Street Bets chairman says, get your bags ready. Tomorrow we are boarding the rocket ship and going to the moon. Did you see that Robinhood has stopped buying for GME and AMC? You can only close your position. I did see that. It's not gonna change anything. It looks like you can't even search for it. That's nuts. I mean, that's a bad call on their part because, well, it's actually probably a little bit more complicated than that, and I'll explain in a second. But if I was on Robinhood and I want to buy GameStop and they don't let me buy it, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take all my money and take it somewhere else.
Trojan Scope says smash that like button, guys. You know you want to.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Trojan Shorts. Guys, make sure you click that like button. We want to get as many likes as we can before the top of the hour. That will really help the stream show up when people are searching and so forth, because we're one of the first streams to start out, so the more likes that we can get early on, the better. Yeah, Wall Street Bets mod put out a statement that the only official Wall Street Bets Twitter is Wall Street Bets Twitter mod. Yeah, this Wall Street Bets chairman guy, that's an account that I'm familiar with, but you're right, it's not an official account. So here's the thing. If you're a broker, when you're a broker and all of your clients are long something like GameStop and you've put a ton of money into it, like it kind of puts you at risk. Okay. There is a risk for the brokers here in this case. So it kind of is their prerogative that they can limit trading in something, but I don't think that that's why they're doing it. I don't think that that's why Robinhood is doing it. I think they all think that this is just, crazy, and I don't think that they understand. Like, how do I put this? Okay, people keep asking me, where is it going to go? Like, when do you take it off? I don't know. I don't know a price. There's a moment. I'll tell you the moment. These guys are going to hold it until every single one of those motherfuckers are bankrupt. All those shorts, they want them. They want everything. And they're going to go until that short percentage is below 20%. I'm not joking. If you are a boomer, you're a regulator, whatever, and you think that you can stop the stocks, you can stop them from buying it, you can, just stop trading in it for a month and it's going to go away, you're crazy. This thing cannot be stopped. Just let it happen. And if you are short, get out now. Stop being stupid. Like, you gotta set like a stop loss, dude. And when you've already lost like X times what you probably put in it, I mean, we were past the time that if you were short that you needed to get out like weeks ago. If the retail traders and Reddit can do this to GameStop this time, will they try again with another stock? Will they try AMC? Will they be able to do it a second time? Yes, I think so. And I think that AMC is one of the best ones. So this is why. So here's the four. Okay, here's the four that they're most focused on: GameStop, AMC, Bed Bath and Beyond, and BlackBerry. Those are the four. So what's happening though is that they're saying focus all your efforts on GameStop. Yeah, there was talk trying to squeeze SLV. I don't think that one will work. You got to be careful putting that in the title. I think we're okay. I could put the other ones in there. Oh, not Nokia is another one. I forgot about that, but I'm not sure I completely understand the Nokia one. Nokia is a totally different kind of beast. Like, Nokia is a much larger company than that. I think that there's a good reason to be buying it, but it's the same with AT&T. AT&T was actually on the hit list too, if you can believe it. But those four are the ones that have the most interest. Okay. Who do you think is driving the price up? I know it's a broad question, but it feels like the majority of retail traders are already GME heavy in their portfolio. Are whales driving this? Okay, so this is a good question, Tony. So I think that one of the things that we assume as a retail trader is like, if it's going up, it has to be because a ton more new people bought it. But that's not necessarily the case. So you're going to have people like myself that are trading in and out of it. And based on where we decide to get in and out of it can have a significant effect as well. And an even larger effect is going to be all of the robots out there that are market making in this security. In fact, we should come over here and pull this over so we can see how much volume we're getting coming into GameStop here, or what this spread. So they've got like a whole dollar spread. That's funny. It's the overnight action though. So, yeah, do you get what I'm saying? So like, you can have a situation where a couple of guys a big guy buys down at the bottom, it has an adverse impact because it was signed the other way, and the market makers decide to pull all of their offers and just kind of let it move up. Yes, I'm aware that Robinhood is disabled buying these stocks. I've said it a million times. I wouldn't recommend day trading with Robinhood. Robinhood's great if you have a super teeny tiny account and you're going to buy stocks and hold them for forever. But for this mess, they are not the one. To be honest, this Fidelity Active Trader Pro, not necessarily the most nimble for me. I mean, I can click my, hit the ask and buy into it and everything, but things still a bit confusing. Yeah, it's the first time that you hear this sort of stuff, it will be confusing. I will go into more detail in a second. Bucket shops that profit off your losses will do that. There you go. Okay, so somebody else asked a question about an investment book that I recommended. So I have a YouTube video on this channel with the books that I recommend, but the one that I would recommend for like investing, like you're gonna hold for multiple years and stuff, One Up on Wall Street by Peter Lynch, who was the manager for the Medallion Fund, probably the most successful money manager ever. A bubble is a bubble, even if it's made out of gum. Okay, so let me try and explain a little bit for you guys, because this is the stuff that you're going to get from this channel that you're probably not going to get from the majority of the other Wall Street streaming people, okay? What you're looking at here on your screen is a depth of market. I've got a bunch of instruments up. This is ES, ZB, which is the 30-year. So I'm trying to put that there. 30, 10, 10, 5. Okay, these are treasury futures, right? The blue column are bids. And the orange-red column are offers, okay? Notice how, that the offers stop and the bids stop right there. So here we've got, this is the best bid, this is the best offer, right? Now there's a little dance that goes on in here. Notice something. There are 4,294 on the bid, and there are 2,119 on the offer. So there's an imbalance between the buying and the selling. Now, in this case, the reason that imbalance exists is because this is the low of the day. There's almost always a lot of orders kind of sitting at the low of the day looking to take a profit. Okay, but what does that mean? It means that the next tick, did you see it just there? Somebody bought 2,667, it ticked up, and then they bid a few, okay? What it means is that they're more likely to tick up than they are to tick down. Because if you assume that the probability of buy volume coming in or sell volume coming in is equal, it's only going to take 1,000 to make it tick up, and it's going to take 5,000 to make it tick down. So the probability of it ticking up is higher. Okay. Now it's ticked up, and look what's happened. It's actually equalized. It's actually equalized, and what you might see is some of these offers may pull. Some of these offers may pull, and we may tick up again, or some of these bids may pull, and we may tick down again. You can see that they're kind of hitting them. 1302 is traded there. So these middle columns are the market orders hitting the bid, right? These are market orders hitting the bid. These are market orders hitting the offer. Okay, so they sold 3,000 and they ticked it back down. And now the offer is stronger. It's 3,000 now. It's almost as much as the 13.5. All we're going to need is 1,000 contracts to trade there at 13.5, and they could start pushing it down. Only 191 have traded through for the whole session. Okay, let's see what the next one is. At the moment, it's probably still more likely for it to tick up, but we want to see volume there, right? Well, one of the things that you will see is like once volume starts trading there, they might adjust. They might that volume trading there might change their mind about things. Sometimes the volume starts trading there, like they take all 4,000 contracts there, and then people want to put even more. We call that latent liquidity. Okay. So the latent liquidity is a significant force in the market. And when you can model the latent liquidity, you kind of learn a couple of really interesting things. So for instance, one thing that will happen is that if you really get a ton of strong volume, look at that, they're pulling a little bit. They're not hitting it. Their market orders aren't hitting it, but they're pulling it. But, say we're really getting a strong trend, then why would you put your bid out? Okay, they took it. Look at that. Only 2,500 traded, and they had 3,000 put up. So they actually pulled. Okay, that's significant. The people that are bidding decided that they don't want to eat that. They don't want to hold that liquidity, right? So when that happens, you can end up with these areas where there isn't a lot of liquidity, and it makes it hard for these guys to actually trade. And this is where we kind of get these impacts. So there's like a certain impact that you have based on how large your order is. And at first, it looks like it's exponential, but as it goes along, you notice that there's a certain size at which your impact doesn't get higher, right? But if it's the other way, then you will have a more impact, and that's twice as much. If it was to be just as big of an order, it'll have twice as much of an impact because it's going the opposite way. Okay. So this is what's going on in the order book. Now, there's something very different about this instrument that we're looking at right here compared to what we would be looking at if we were able to look at this for GameStop. And the difference is that the 10-year treasury is considered what we call a large tick instrument, which means that the value of a one tick is very large and the spread between prices is very small. In this case, as small as possible. So you can there's nothing between 13 and 13.5, right? You can bid at 13, you can buy at 13.5, but you can't buy at 13.25, right? It doesn't exist. That's the tick size, okay? So there's going to be bids and offers at every price, okay? In stocks like GameStop, it's different. And we can see that here in this spread right here, right? The best ask is 410.25 and the best bid is 401. They're doing a $5 spread right now. So they could put prices at every cent in between there. So if you were to watch the market depth in GameStop, you would see a big gap between the best bid and best offer, and there'd be all of these prices in between that there's nothing at. Although sometimes you might see somebody put a bid at a higher spot to try and jump in line, right? So that's when we talk a small tick stock. That's one where there's not as much liquidity at every price, and there can be like big gaps between the best bid and best offer. Almost all futures are large tick stocks, and that's why they're really good for scalping in fast and furious action, because you will have more liquidity. Whereas over here in some of the stocks, it gets a little crazy and it's kind of hard to catch things when they get going, right? So that's what I was kind of talking about. So when you look over here in GME, what could happen is there's this huge spread. Somebody decides to come up and buy on the best offer, a large market order, and the robots go, oh crap, and they pull all of their offers and it moves up. And so what can happen is you can get a big move up with less volume purely because the market makers are pulling their offers. Makes sense? So that's part of what's going on, and that's what you want to have happen, because you're right. Probably a lot of people are in GameStop. There's probably still people of the public that could get in, and clearly with Robinhood having the issues that they are, there's a lot of people still trying to get in. But overall, it's not just new positions coming in that dominate the direction. It also has to do with the size of the orders and the impact that they're having and when they're timed as to what the short-term direction is at that time and what the market makers decide to do with that information. Now, these market makers are robots. But so Citadel is really the one that you want to talk to, because if I was market making this, I wouldn't be putting offers out there. No way. You'd get crushed, right? So, does that all make sense? Eric Cage's GME is the truth. Let's go, boys. Yay. Hey, so I'm just another good point here to stop for a second and ask you to click that like button. So the more people that we can get to click that like button before the top of the hour or before the market opens, the better, because that's going to tell the YouTube algorithm this is the place to look to learn about how to do trading and get into this whole GameStop mess. And the more that we can get before everybody else starts their stream, the better. There you go. 5 likes. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very, very much. Okay, I'm glad that you guys found that interesting. Very interesting. Thanks, mate. What has more weight to volatility and price? Size of the order or the volume of new traders? So that's a good question. So one of the problems is that there's no... they don't have like a trader ID attached to every order. So when I talk about an order, you might hear me use the word meta order. When I'm talking about this, you'll hear me use the word meta order. What that means is that maybe this guy wants to buy 20,000 shares of AMC. He's not going to buy it all at once. He's going to split it up into smaller lots. And so that ends up being a meta order, right? It's a meta because it's made out of a bunch of different pieces, right? So what is going to matter is like the overall number of orders that are buys and the overall number of orders that are sells. Now, that's another thing that we should go into. Something that you don't really think about in stocks, and a lot of people in futures kind of take for granted. But right now we have the best bid and the best ask. Okay. Well, you would think that what the software gets is, okay, a buy came in, 62 buys came in at 137.13. No, it doesn't. It doesn't tell you that. All it tells you is that volume traded at 13. That's all it tells you. It doesn't tell you if it's buy or sell. So what we have to do is we have to say, okay, well, at the time, the best bid was 13. So we know that if volume traded at 13, that those were market buys hitting that price. And we have to use our best bid and best ask prices to determine if something is buy or sell. But when we have that best bid and best ask information, and if we have that information historically as well, so I have the historical best bid and best ask prices going all the way back for the day, and I have all of the trades and what prices they traded at for the day, then what I can do is I can do tick replay, and then I can determine what is buying and what is selling, and then you get this chart over here, which is cumulative delta. That's this thing right here. So you can see right here in the E-mini what is happening. The number of market buys is overwhelming the number of market selling, and they are smashing through offers and pushing price up. Yeah. You could probably do this in stocks too if you had best bid and best ask data, but most people don't. So we don't talk about cumulative delta in stocks very often. But that's kind of how you determine what is the overall balance between buyers and sellers, right? But another thing that kind of changes it is clustering, okay? So what is clustering? Somebody will do something over here and price will move up, and then you'll all go, oh, something's happening, I want to buy it now. And then you all go and you buy it too, and that's clustering. So market events tend to all happen next to each other. And one of the things that happens is a piece of news will come out, and so everybody will want to buy it all at once. And the market makers will have ways of looking at that data flow and saying, okay, there's enough force behind this thing that I think these guys are trading because they have information that I, as a market maker, don't have. So I'm going to pull my offers because I don't want to be caught by the informed trading. Make sense? So it has to do with the overall like balance between market buys and market sells, and how clustered they are, how aggressive they are. You know, if they come in and they just lift like 5 prices, then that's like a really aggressive move, and it can move in. And you have often seen here with us where it'll keep going. So what we saw over here in the 10-year was kind of like a good example. I think it's good to watch the 10-year because it goes slow and you can see it happen, right? They traded through 13.5. They had 3,200 bid, but only 2,500 traded for it to go down. What does that mean? That means that the bidder has decided that because the imbalance was so much, that there's some informed traders out there and that he doesn't want to hold these bids. So then here, only 1356 traded at 13 to make it go down. And then there was somebody that took some profits at 12.5. But even then it's gone down. And we could have taken that as a signal. We could have taken that as a signal and bought into 13 and we'd be up 2 ticks by now. Right? Okay. There are some questions. I'll get to them all. When GME eventually crashes, who loses? Wall Street hedge funds or Wall Street bets? Is it going to get dumped on loads of Wall Street bets retail traders? Probably. So what will probably happen? This is where, again, you think, okay, we're up. The shorts have all been squeezed out. For us to go back down now, like new shorts have to come in and short it on the way down. No, not exactly. You just have to have the people that bought decide to sell. And because they start selling, their impact will be greater because it's a sign change. Right? We're still on here? Oh yeah, okay, we're good. I was getting a little bit of churning over here on YouTube. Because it's a sign change, the impact of their selling will be more. So what you will see is that the price will drop very, very quickly. And so a lot of those guys that bought, they're just going to eat it. So there's going to be a lot of people that bought that didn't take their profits early enough. And to be quite frank with you, it's probably going to be some of these really, really big guys that made a ton of money with options and everything and don't understand the impact of their trades. This is why if you're really big, okay, it is prudent to take profits. I know that everybody's saying like you just need to hold, like we need to hold in order to make the squeeze happen and everything. Listen, the squeeze is going to happen one way or another, but you need to be able to get out, because if you are stuck and you have your full size on at the top and you're not selling into those market buy, into those shorts that are buying up at the top, then you're going to eat it on the way down because it's going to come back so fast that you're not going to be able to do anything. Yeah. So it's like a game of hot potato. As long as people don't sell, then the price will moon. So that's why people keep saying buy, hold. Well, I mean that's true, but I'm just saying that like the dynamics of this are as such that like whether or not you individually buy or sell isn't going to have a huge effect. In fact, if you sell and let it come down a little bit and then you buy it on the way back, that's, and kind of keep the trajectory a lot calm and just kind of slow and steady squeeze up, that's better. DFV needs you as your financial advisor. Well, I don't think so, because it sounds to me like DFV has already taken so many profits that even if he lost everything on the remaining shares, he would still have made millions of dollars on this. So you get that? Like, he is just holding these for charity now. He is holding them for you guys. Now, maybe there's some other people that have a problem, but it may be the case. It may be the case when we come back, though, that we'll look at it and he'll probably, we'll be looking at the overall thing and it'd be like, oh, like I think last time I looked, it was like $17 million. Maybe it gets up to $30 million, but then it's going to come back and everybody's going to be like, well, he should have taken profits, but then you see how it's more complicated than that, right? Because him taking profits moves it against him because he has that impact. You've got to think about the price impact of trades. That's why, I think of that, like, the market oscillates, you get swings up and down. And I think everybody thinks, oh, well, that happens because of people. Like, that's just our tendency is we see it down, so we buy in, and we see it up and we sell, and it goes up because we see it going up, and so we all try and jump on and FOMO, and this is caused by us. Actually, there are some mathematical models that suggest that it has to do with the structure of the market, that it's a natural consequence of using a limit order book. Was there any questions that I missed there? If I missed your question, feel free to just ask it again. For me, it will be the first time being in on the squeeze. I'm not in it with a lot of money because it seems to be realistic to lose it. How would you protect your investment? A high sell limit or not? So stop sleeping? Yeah. So that's a good question. First of all, when it happens, when it turns back down, it will be probably during the day. I mean, there will be some jumps overnight, but the majority of the action is going to happen during the day. The second thing is having a good platform that does a DOM. So I know that TD Ameritrade has a DOM on it, so you can use that. And I think you can even go in and set it up so that, like, because if I tried to buy it right now, it would bring up a window and then I would click OK and it would preview my trade and then I would hit confirm and it would go in, right? But look over here on the futures. If I want to buy or sell it, I click once and I'm in. Right? So being nimble helps a lot, and having all that data helps a lot. If that's not what's going on, then the suggestion that I would give to you is when you start seeing the crazy volume coming in on the upside, you take your profits then, and don't concern yourself with if you got out too early. Now, you can kind of use the amount of short interest out there as a gauge, because it's going to be like the short interest will decrease one day and then, over 3 days, it'll all come off. And then in those 3 days is when you're going to want to take it off. GME is 260 now? No, it is 347 is what I've got. Unless my data is slow. No, I don't think it's over already. I feel like he's telling me to no. I'm not saying that. So let me stress again that if you want to buy, and I'm not saying that you should or that you're going to make money on it. I personally think that it's not done, but you shouldn't listen to me. I'm just a guy on the internet, right? In terms of whether you should buy or sell something or where you should buy it at. But if you want to buy it, I would not chase. Okay. So as an example on this chart right here, when it was jumping from 340 to 500 and it went there in like less than 4 minutes, don't mess with that. You're going to have to hit it with a market order, and the price that you're going to get is going to be uncertain, and it's just going to go. No. Wait. Let it come back. Let it come back and put your limit order down. Once you've seen it come back a little bit, put your limit order in there and you can say, okay, should be able to get 340 or sorry, 430. I should be able to get 430 and you put it there and you do it that way. Where can normal people see GME's live short interest so we can watch it, follow ourselves, and then judge when to get out? So I have seen a bunch of people posting on Wall Street Bets a number of different sources that list at the end of the day the amount of short interest in the stock. But I have not, as of yet, seen a place where you can see it live, unfortunately. Tony, I missed your question. I'll try scrolling back and find it, but you should just ask it again. With the blood in the water, why aren't more whales and prominent hedge funds scooping up all the shares and just hold? Is it because of liquidity as a larger player? Yeah, I think that's basically the gist of it. The the market situation is such that if any big guy really tries to take a sizable position in this, it's going to start moving on them. And so even these people that are short, I'm sure that they would love to be out of it. I'm sure that they would love to be out of it, but it's not as simple as just sell it all, or it's not as simple as just buy everything, you know? So is volume the best way to judge for now? Yeah, I think probably. I mean, when the squeeze is happening, it's going to be like they are going to cover it. They're going to halt it like over and over and over again. And Financial Chill seems to show updated short interest. I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't 100% trust those numbers on a day-to-day basis, but there's this whole thing that everybody's saying that CNBC and Citron and Melvin are all lying by saying that they covered their positions because the short interest hasn't decreased. And that's not proof of anything. And if they were lying about it, then putting out that press release would be market manipulation. Yeah, when lungs try to sell, there may be no buyers. Just saying. Probably there won't be. You're 100% right, Blunt. It's a game of hot potato. That's why I keep saying, like, probably you want to be out early, because the last thing that you want to have happen is to be the one caught holding the bag. Yeah, exactly. They could have sold their shorts to someone else, right? Or maybe they did just do it on the stock market, but other people picked up shorts as it was going. Like, that could happen too. I've seen people, like you've seen them on Wall Street Bets, a bunch of people that tried going short this and posting their losses, right? I don't know why you would do it, but there are people doing it. Selling into it, yeah. When you get to that point, here's another thing: is watch the spread. It's $2 spread right now. A $2 spread is big. Like earlier in the week, it was like a 30-cent spread. Well, when the market opens, it will probably get a little tighter. Okay, but what happens when it becomes like a $10, $20, $30 spread on the, you know, when it's coming back, right? Then you'll know for sure. If that starts happening and you find yourself that you're one of the bag holders, the faster you get out, the better. You remember, on this sort of a thing, this is the move, and it goes like this, and then it's going to go like this. So it's going to go faster. So what? You want to be in early, you want to be out early, because the guy that gets out here is the one that loses. I am not sure. I have no position at the moment. I took profits. Was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday, because I bought Monday and I held Tuesday. Then I took some profits on Wednesday. I'm pretty happy with the place that I took the profits at. But I only took the profits because of this thing down here. And we'll see when we open what they do. Because I'm looking to buy some puts here. I don't know. You say Bitcoin is pumping back? Oh, it is. Very good. Excellent. What do you think about GME actually reaching 1K? I think it's totally possible. I mean, think about it. It's almost touching. It actually looks like it did touch 500 overnight, and we were at 300 yesterday. And if we have another 50, even if we don't do like 100% gains overnight, within 2 days, could this be at 1,000? Yeah. Can you imagine all of these shorts having to cover at 1,000? Like, it may be a situation where the shorts simply don't have the money to pay, and the regulators are going to have to come in and make some sort of make some sort of agreement with you guys. Well, if Bitcoin were to move up and to touch 3,500, even 40K today, I would be ecstatic. I really would. Oh, I see. Okay, I am a realistic guy. If Melvin hands me the key to their office for my personal use, I am out of this, love. If Melvin can't pay, then their broker can pay. If their broker can't pay, then the banks will pay. Is that how it works? I don't know. I'm waiting to short because it's on the upside, yes. But I can't do it until the market opens, so. It's gotten so bad, the hedge fund guys who are short called me for a bail. Oh, really? Did you bail them out, Ace? Oh, man. What is the point in investing in Bitcoin other than speculative reasons if the majority of investors end up converting it to fiat currency anyways? It seems contradictory. You're totally right, Tony. So let me give you my view on cryptocurrencies. By the way, this is a good point to ask you guys again to click that like button. The more likes that we can get before the market opens, the better. That's what's gonna tell the YouTube algorithm that this is the stream to show people when they search for GMEs. So if you could click that like button right now, I really appreciate it. In my opinion, the value of a currency is how much you can transact with it. So the dollar is worth as much as it is because you can buy oil with it, for instance. And oil is one of the commodities that makes the world turn, right? If you couldn't buy oil with dollars anymore and you could only buy them with yuan, then the dollar would be worth less and the yuan would be worth more, right? Well, it's the same thing with Bitcoin. And one of the problems that they have in Bitcoin is that they have this idea that we can just be a store of value and that people don't have to use it. And so when their decisions that they made on the blockchain made it so that it was harder for people to transact, it was more expensive for people to transact. And in some instances, you don't even get your transaction filled for several days, right? Then retailers couldn't use it anymore, and that limited the amount of places that you could actually use Bitcoin. That means that there's less people buying Bitcoin so that they can use it for their online transactions. It means that it's actually worth less. And that's one of the issues that Bitcoin has been having. I think that the Bitcoin Cash guys have it right, basically. Bitcoin Cash guys have been saying, no, we want people to continue to use the blockchain. And I think in the end that they're going to win. But first, this latest rise is, according to the metrics that I look at, where I look at the blockchain and I look at how much people are actually transacting with it, they're way overbought. And when they've done this in the past, there's been a bubble. Now, probably if the crash had already happened, then I think that we would be a lot lower than 30,000 right now. So I suspect that there's going to be another push. And maybe they try and push for 40K and they come short. Or maybe they push through it a little bit and it gets crazy. But that's why I'm kind of just like stalking it. I'm like, okay, let's see something happens. By the way, while we've been talking, AMC has kind of taken a little bit of, has come back down to its overnight lows. Same with BlackBerry and Bed Bath & Beyond. But GameStop remains strong. So it appears to me that, like I said, the Wall Street Bets guys are concentrating all of their efforts on GameStop. And, oh, well, yeah, Robinhood blocked these as well. So, yeah, probably they can only concentrate their efforts on GME, essentially. Sorry, I mean, what's the price of GME? So what I've got right here is live for me, 347.51, but it's going to be delayed by like 3 to 5 seconds. You say that my ticker is stuck? Well, that's interesting because... Are you sure that you're not just showing what the end of day price was? Because that 310 was like what they closed at yesterday. But the overnight market, I have it at 347. And I don't think that the ticker is stuck just because, I'm still seeing volume. I could try changing it. Like if I go to BB here and then I come back to GME, it still pulls that price. Oh, no, that's interesting because the bid and ask are at 300. So that's curious. Oh, there we go. Now it's turned. Oh, you know what? I just didn't have it turned all the way over to the. I just didn't have it pulled all the way over. But why is this not updated? Maybe that's what it closed at yesterday. Maybe I had it backwards. My bad, guys. You were right. A year ago, I wrote my own pretty simple command line software to keep updated about stocks. So why am I posting this? Because it crashed the first time because of GME. Oh, really? I think that when we do our next programming day, I think that we're going to write some stock scanning stuff. I think that my edge is still over in indexes and news and so forth. I think that there could be some more opportunities in stocks. I don't think that I want to be like day trading every day in stocks, but every once in a while something like this will pop up that we could maybe take advantage of. And it seems to me like I was wrong about something. Because we always said, guys, we don't want to be pushing the hype and everything, because what that will do is that'll just attract a lot of viewers that don't understand what we're trying to do and don't really want to put in the work and everything. And you won't get the audience that you want. But what I am discovering is that you guys come for, you don't just come for the tag or the clickbait or whatever the deal is. The people that click those things, they come and they hear what I'm talking about, and if they're not interested, then they leave. And so because of the personality and the community that already exists, you can bring as many people as you want through, and the bad ones will just leave. And that's what it looks like is happening. So I think that it would be prudent for us to continue keeping track of certain stock moves that are big that day and taking advantage of it for growing the YouTube channel. Seth is slowly giving into the dark side. Soon he is pouring hours and hours in CEO profiles, company history, wife and kids leave him, and he sinks it on Dunder Milf. No. I already do that sort of stuff, Ace. I don't talk a whole lot about individual stocks, but whatever it is that's going on that's big at that time, I'm reading about it. I try and read as much financial news as I can. It's just, I'll go like, I'm just like a addict, freaking, like, honestly, when the day is over and I'm done working out and everything, I will pull up CNBC and read what's on CNBC. I will pull up Zero Hedge and read what's on Zero Hedge. Maybe I'll pull up some of the other websites like Bloomberg or whatever if I'm not finding enough information about the particular story that I'm interested in. I'll pull up Reddit and I'll read every headline. Well, I will read through the title of every post in all of the trading subreddits. So like day trading, futures trading, I'll read all of those and see if there's anything I need to respond to. I'll go on Wall Street Bets and I'll scan those. I will go on the Facebook groups and I will scan through the futures trading Facebook groups. I try to keep up on what's going on the market as well as I can. I think one of the places where I've kind of been lacking is that I will know that his stock is going and everything, but I don't just like sit and watch it. You know what I mean? And so I didn't understand things as well as I should just because I wasn't there to watch them. Now that we're pulling this up, and I think that we kind of resolved some of our performance issues, we'll see today, but we should be able to see some craziness over in the indexes and still deal with all this stuff over here. This cult of Seth is hard to beat. Once you go Seth, you never go back. Yeah, there you go. Well, listen, it's because traders going to trade, and you all know it. You can get your mugs from the Stream Elements link in the video description below. Yeah, it looks like they're at 300. So it looks to me like this ticker right here just shows you what the last tick was, and it doesn't show you what the market is. But the bid and asks are correct. So look at the bid is 300, 304. It's a thin market, and it looks like that they took advantage of it. There's still a lot of volume trading. I mean, 7 million overnight is nuts. Treasuries came down pretty hard. You know, I should have focused on that for you guys better, or tried taking a trade. I was not like, you know, usually I'll sit down and I'll be like, okay, these are the places that I want to make trades and when I might want to do it, and I'll stock it. But the 10-year wasn't on my radar today, so I didn't do it. But I think that it would have been useful for you guys to have seen me go, oh, okay, they only traded 2,500. I'll go short here and then see what happens. Now, here's another thing that I should point out is that we should talk about this distribution thing, right? So you see this distribution right here? Why does that happen? Well, what happens is you will get a spot very often that there will be like a big order. So you can't see them anymore, but at some point there was actually some relatively large trades here. Here, I'll pull it over here so you can see it. So here is in my tape where I look at the largest orders. So there was a 2,700 lot that went through when they got at 37.10. Okay, so when that happens, there's like less latent liquidity there. So when they come down into here, these guys, they want to buy it. These guys, they want to sell it, right? And so it gets stuck here. And then this is the area where there's not as much latent liquidity. But this ends up being the place with the most volume traded anyways, because they're just stuck there and they ping back and forth it so many times that they have no choice. Right? So when I see that, I've had to move down. And when I see that to me is, okay, I will get out at 10. GME is falling off a cliff. Well, it went nutso in the overnight. I mean, this thing right here, I was pretty amped when I woke up and I saw that. I was like, wow. They moved up no matter what. Latent liquidity. Yes. Do you know what the word latent means? It means that it's there, but you can't necessarily see it. So it's liquidity that isn't placed directly on the DOM, but they still trade there. So you'll kind of see it. It'll be like, look, they traded 2,467. They sold it all, and now more shows up. Is GME still a buy? Thoughts on AMC? I have shares in AMC. So I think that on all of these that the move could continue until the shorts are squeezed. And I'm not seeing them squeezed yet. Isn't this drop just market manipulation? I mean, okay. I've been reading up on this. Okay. And I think that we use the term market manipulation a little bit too freely. So if I come out and I make a materially false statement that I know is false in order to coerce people to trade in a particular direction, that is market manipulation. That is like the quintessential example of market manipulation. If I do something to make it appear that there is more activity or more buying or more selling in a particular stock than there actually is, that is market manipulation. So like a wash selling where you're buying and selling, but you're actually doing it against yourself and all of that volume is fake, right? That is market manipulation. If I come in and hit bids or hit offers in a place where they're really weak and move price as much as I possibly can, that is not market manipulation. That is legal and that is basically how the game works. But probably the bids weren't all that strong, and probably this move up was a little weak. I don't know if people sold it back on the way down. Maybe some of the buyers on here puked. I don't know. You got to remember again that it's like there's this sign change thing. Like here's a meta order they bought. Okay, this was the peak of that meta order. And here is the regime change. Maybe a couple of people bought it back up in here again. Okay. Regime change. Somebody else comes in and they sell just as many lots the other way. It's going to move price below where this started. Even if the size of the order is the same, because the market impact that you're going to have is more because it's a sign change differential. And the market makers basically have to pull in order to not get caught. Yeah, yes, Robinhood has delisted the stock. Or they weren't letting people trade it even yesterday. You're a good antidote from the Kool-Aid from Wall Street Bets. Well, I mean, listen, there are a lot of smart people over there. I absolutely love that sub. I don't remember how I first found it. But I was, I would have been there from day one if I had known about it. And I think that they're right overall on this thing. I do think that there are a lot of traders over there that are new and don't really understand the market microstructure of things and say things and have views about the market that aren't really true. But that's okay. There's always going to be a certain amount of noise traders in the market, but there are some really smart people over there at Wall Street Bets that probably know more than I do. So you get the good and you get the bad. Reporting their trading 212 reporting their intermediaries are refusing buys. Like, one of the things that bothers me is this whole thing where they reported that they closed their shorts or that they're out of their short positions, and everybody just reflexively says they're lying. And it's not because they have any data that supports the theory that they're still in it. I mean, there's multiple alternative explanations for why they say that they're out of their position, but the short interest hasn't changed. But they're saying all of these things because that's just what is most convenient for them to believe, That kind of person is dangerous to trade with, right? Those aren't the ones that you necessarily want on your side. Well, unless it's in this sort of a thing, because those are the ones that are going to eat it when it ends, right? They're the ones that they aren't basing their decisions or opinions on reality. Robinhood collusion, they want to crash it. Well, I don't know. So hold up there a little bit, Derek. So I totally agree that they just need to let it play out, but there is risk for brokers on this. Okay. And the Robinhood is saying their intermediaries are refusing to buy. Like, I get it, because what happens is you guys all buy, they hold it, based on the way that their back office works and everything else like that, it's not fast enough. And so what ends up happening is they risk a big collapse in the price of the stock, and they're the bag holders, right? Well, you're the bag holders too, but you end up with this thing where they lose, the traders lose all of this money, and it's more than what they can afford to lose for other operations going on. Okay, like a thing like this could kill a broker. It really could, especially when you start putting the options into it, right? Especially when you start having options. So, it is within the broker's prerogative and within all of the agreements that you sign and agree to when you start trading with them, that they can stop trading in a security at any time if they need to. Okay, so they can stop trading. I don't think that any of this is going to change the overall thing. It's just going to slow it down. You know what I mean? Like, they're not going to let up. And these people that are in it and want to squeeze them, they're not going to sell. So you just hold it, and eventually, you know, they're going to have to puke. Going to be a bloody day if you can't even buy on the phone apps. Interactive Brokers has put AMC, BB, EXPR, GME, and cost option trading into, quote, liquidation. So I'm not 100% sure what that means, but perhaps, does that mean that, hold on a second. Does that just mean that they're not letting you do options trading on it? NAKD, I've not. NAKD. Naked Brand Group. Oof. No, I'm not familiar with them. Looks like they're doing the same thing that everybody else is doing, though. No more gamma squeezes. That's true. I think that some of this has been that people are taking advantage of an inefficiency in mark-to-market rules with options. That has been happening. Okay, well, we got the open here. I guess I should pay attention here. The first impulse was down. So I know I'm covering up the quote here, but oh, that's not the right one. Where is it? There it is. There you are. Okay. So first impulse was short. They recovered it. It wasn't very strong. Now buyers are taking it. RIP Robinhood. Okay, so I'm not so interested in the E-mini because of how it's trading here. I will pull this over here, though, so I can watch it a little bit better. Make it so I can, there we go. Okay. So did GameStop immediately get halted? Man. Yes, sir, it did. GameStop costs and tricks. TIRX. Well, I tell you what, if they're going to quote unquote liquidate it like that, like, great. Buy the dip on a good broker. Did you take one there, Ace? I don't have AMC halted yet. You took it long, yeah. At 68. Oh my gosh, so many got halted. Cost, GameStop, AMC, Lian Luau, Inhibrix, and Jan 1 all paused. Yeah, that one was good because you already got your 2 ticks. I was kind of looking, I don't know if you did it before the right there on the open or not, but trading 212 crashed again. And I haven't heard trading 212 about them much until you guys. I mean, I had heard of it before, but it wasn't like one that was on my radar that people were using. Well, I'm just gonna kind of keep tabs on it. If they give me like a good tip. I mean, I could get in below where I got out yesterday now, so that's good. Is it the main? Is it trading 212 the main? Oh, that would explain it. Well, I tell you what, since it's halted, I'm running out of water. I should go and get some water. So I'm gonna get some water. I'll be right back. Take this moment to hit that like button. We're doing really good, guys. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm not getting, man. Why do I keep getting that sort of a thing where it's not showing me like the full? Okay, well, so the same thing over here on AMC? No, I don't think so. So many people are pulling up the NYSE halt list that it's not even showing them all. Yeah, it looks to me like what's going on is that there's some informed trading going on because of the trading suspensions. Functionality temporarily unavailable. Uh-oh, zero hedge, the dumbest argument we've heard against cryptocurrencies. I have to read that later, but a lot of the time the arguments that zero hedge makes on that are kind of stupid. We'll see. Okay, so we're getting a little reprieve here. I should be doing my thing down here, huh? What? I think I just was too fast there. Cool. Filled at 180. Okay. Okay, cool. Sucks that that's the bid ask on it. I probably could wait. Yeah, Bitcoin kind of already trailed off there, so I think I'm okay on that one. All right. So now we can come over here to this, and I could say, I'm willing to buy one at 300 if there is so kind. Let's just wait a little bit because it's running on us. Should have been a little quicker on the draw there. I see the E-minis turning back down. Could have taken a short there. Oh, what are my robots doing? How are they doing today? Well, Jay is already fucked up. He is awful. He is awful today. What the heck? How many trades is he taking? Well, that's curious. The long trades are correct, but he's not getting the thing, and then it's flipping around on it. Okay, so I think I know a couple of things I can do about that. So I'm going to turn him off. What about the rest of them? Well, Joseph made a good chunk of change, and Indy is in a long. Make those lazy ass robot machines learn it. Well, I think that what is going on is it's getting into a position and then it's getting a signal the other way and it's taking a loss because of that. Do your robots really make money, or is that no, that is testing. They are in testing. So I think that some of these, I think that these four down here, I don't get Squire as much as I want. But these ones seem to be doing okay. I think overall, I'd have to go back and look, at the performance of each of them over the past few weeks, but I think that they've been doing okay, so I have to go check. Is it manipulation when the city puts up a stop? No, it's like, listen, guys, I understand your frustration. It's not going to stop you. Don't worry about it. It's not going to stop you. They're going to let it go in again, and you're going to be fine, especially if you're in it already. And you don't need to worry about it. So GameStop got halted again, did it? They turned around. Oh, man, that's hilarious. Okay, well, so I am going to put kind of like I don't think it's going to get touched sort of an order out. We'll see if Fidelity is allowing me to buy here. Okay. Ooh, E-mini's going. What's this? All of the news organizations are saying stocks open strongly as the meme stock trade reverses. I don't see how they say that, but okay, I don't think these guys understand what's going on. Well, I don't know what the E-mini is doing here. That is nutso action. I could probably just buy it right there, but I'm not going to because I don't understand what's going on. Well, my robots are going to be oh yeah. Wow. Indy took his profits and now Squire is going. Squire really lets them run. Like, he really lets them run. So we'll see how much he gets on that one. But he's already made 500 on it. That's good. Oh, wow. You know what's so crazy is like yesterday, the robots didn't do very good. But it is already early and they've already wiped out their losses from yesterday. Do you think maybe big players are going to jump on because of the potential visit to the moon on GME for AMC? So I think that there is serious issues for any large player wanting to get involved in any of these because of the volatility and the spread, and just like there's like a lack of liquidity. So part of the reason why you're seeing these wild swings is because it doesn't take a whole lot of money to really move it right now. Well, I am surprised that the spread there was 1 cent for a moment in GameStop. I want to know why the E-mini took that jump. Did Robinhood just short their own IPO, says Zero Hedge? I mean, you've got to wonder, man. Who is going to want to use Robinhood after that? But this is where I'm saying, like, I would think that if anybody would be on top of and trying to understand what's going on, it would be Robinhood. And I don't think that they would do something like that unless they felt like they had no choice. I don't like, you don't go in and like destroy your business and chase all of your customers away unless you felt like you had to. You know what I mean? I don't think that legally they have to allow you to buy. No, I'm pretty sure that in the agreements that you sign, they state that they can suspend trading on any security for any reason.
Block sell.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, I don't read the fine print, so yeah. So you got to understand that, especially when you get options involved, that you could take down a brokerage with this. Like, you really could. I'm pretty sure that it's happened in the past, right? Okay, well, GME was kind of taken off, and now it looks like there's a little bit of a sell. Let's just see. Don't get too excited. Let it do it. You know, if it goes, it goes. But I've got a bid down there. I don't know if they're going to touch it. Okay, so there's the indexes coming back here. Did someone say the Greater Depression? Well, kind of what I'm concerned about happening is that all of these short squeezes happen. It looks to me like what's happened is these banks, these large funds have taken shorts on these big names, and then they use the money that they were making from their shorts and used it to buy other stocks. So now that this is evening back out, it turns out that that's part of how maybe the market was overvalued from them doing that. You know what I mean? And then I'm also concerned about Bitcoin. Like, Bitcoin is just crazy these days. And, you know, I'm concerned that you'd get like a 1-2 punch, right? Like maybe the GameStop thing takes the markets down a little bit, and then I actually think that Bitcoin taking a hit could have a small effect, and I think that a lot of people will be questioning their view of markets. Well, I tell you what, going from 26 to 400 in 2 minutes is pretty wild, don't you think? Wow. Can you tell me about the extreme version of halts? I heard they can permanently suspend a market like that, and it can take a month to investigate. They can. So the SEC could come in and they could say, we're going to suspend trading in this until we can finish investigating. That could happen. I don't think it's going to stop the squeeze, but it could happen. After delisting GameStop and AMC, Robinhood has gotten over 100,000 one-star reviews in 1 hour on the App Store, now set with a 1 rating. Oh my. They deserve it, says Rod Breslau, who is a guy that is kind of covers streaming that I follow on Twitter. Well, I tell you what, man, Fidelity ain't stopping me from trading it. Their interface isn't really the greatest for day trading, I must say, but they're a good broker. Reddit users fuel fresh gains for swimwear and headphone stocks. Right, because it costs headphones. So that's funny. That's funny. So I'm hearing Zero Hedge says user reports show E-Trade and Fidelity having issues, but I haven't had any issues. Is it possible to write tendies as financial lingo from now on? I don't think that the term tendies is well defined enough. No. So look at that, AMC taking another little hit there. Should we zoom in on them a little bit? It looks to me like there's just a fight going on in GME right now. So I can just sit on the sidelines. If it goes, it goes. It's okay. I got the trade that I wanted, though. I finally found a good price for it. I start down $80 on it, but hey, what you gonna do? Would funds try to disguise their high position sell-offs? If so, what would it look like? Well, so what you've got to do is, the first thing is that you're going to want to put orders on the bid, and you want to spread them out as much as possible. I mean, so there's a lot of things that they do in terms of splitting orders and all of that to kind of hide their orders. If I was one of those guys, I would certainly be like putting bids out and trying to take as many shares off as I could. But the thing you've got to realize is that when a large institution executes a large meta order, there are meta orders that take weeks to fill. Okay, when I worked at the bank, there was meta orders. They would go for multiple days. They'd just set an algorithm to buy it. 1K is no meme. We'll see. I don't think anybody has any clue how high it's really going to go. I think anybody that thinks they really know where it's going to go is full of it. But them wanting 1K, I think, is something to keep in mind. Probably there will be some sellers there. Oh, you got to your target. Good job, Uzi. I really should have played the drop in the treasuries. I didn't really expect the treasuries to drop as hard as they did, but you know, it looks like there's some risk on coming back into the market, and there's some big supply coming in, so I think the move makes sense. I'm kind of sad that they halted it, because I was like literally just about to put an order in, and then yeah, okay. There is, I mean, look at that candle right there. They spiked it down. It's holding it for now. The E-mini looks bullish still. It's actually suggesting to me the buy somewhere in here. Yeah, right there. Oh, that's the wrong one. That one. There we go. Okay, cool. Bouncing between DOMs and 20 tabs. How do you read a candlestick chart? You don't. So you know what? So it's kind of like, okay, here was a candle, and then here we've had an outside bar. So this is a statistical anomaly that people will look at, right? That we've had a bar that was outside. The low of that bar and the high of that bar was greater than the bar before it. Another thing that we should note is that the open and close of that bar are above the previous bar's close. So what we call this is a hammer. Now, typical chart readers would read that bar as bullish. But I've gone through and I've done some reading, and there may be some tendencies that they will have in certain markets. But overall, those aren't really very reliable reads about what something is about to do. Oh, that's where I should have bought it. Well, I think it's time to switch around short, my friends. Okay. Damn it. Oh, that's so bad. Okay. So just after that, I'm on the sim account here on the E-minis. I'm going to keep trading it, but if I was with my live account, that's too much volatility for me to trade. I would be stepping back. Where it flips on you at 16 ticks that fast. That's a no. AMC sold 44.4 million shares this morning. Oh, really? Did they? I don't really know. So there would be ways of calculating that. But what I would say is we should, if that's what interests you, you should try and find a spreadsheet, and we could go in and we could calculate what the change in the number of shares means. It kind of depends on how many actual shares are outstanding and how many are short and all that stuff. So the first thing is even though I'm on the sim account, I am going to reduce my risk a little bit. So I'm only going to take one lots here. Robinhood, let the people trade. That's the Robinhood app. It was tweeting that. What the heck? Revolut stopped you from trading. Well, look, GME is just taking off now. Looks like I missed the opportunity. I'm super sad about it because of the halt, really. Okay. Now something is going on over here in the indexes, because that was some pretty extreme hard selling over here. Well, somebody's buying it, man. Look at this move. Are they going to halt it again? Do you think? I think that all of these guys are trading again, right? Let's see what's halted right now. Doesn't look like I have any at the moment. You see this? This is going up. This is going down. It's doing it. We're going to get new home sales here in a minute too. Well, let's wait until home sales is over first. Yeah. Oof. See that? Jay would have tried taking that one right there. Okay, here comes the new home sales number. Okay, so they're getting 1.6 versus the estimate of 1.9. So the number is less than expected. Well, I can say it's good. I can say it's good for AMC as a company. That's great, but I don't know what the impact is going to be on the price. I honestly don't know. That's not something that I know that you could calculate that, but I don't have a model for that. That's not something that I've ever researched before. When a company sells shares, that generally depresses the price. Yeah, see, the E-minis are just cutting through this. Wow, that was a good catch. Okay, well, I'm just going to do a little bit adverse, but... Ooh. Well, that was a battle. Looks like I might lose on this one, too. Yep. Ooh. Okay, it is definitely because of GameStop. Because look, GameStop just came back down really hard and the E-minis are buying again. It is like the algorithms went on there and they just decided that they're going to trade these two things inversely. $1K is clearly where the SEC steps in, if not sooner. News today reads non-US investors. Well, the question that you got to ask yourself is why aren't the shorts covering, right? Like, they can stop trading in it, but they can't force the buyers to sell. What are those E-minis? So there's a S&P 500 mini micro contracts. Ace. Well, we just had a dump and then a rise, and it's pretty crazy. GameStop was briefly the largest stock on the Russell 2000. There apparently is what's coming out on the news wires. Oh my gosh. General Stash. I think that probably all four of these are going to have squeezes. Yes. It looks to me though like for BlackBerry, Bed Bath and Beyond, and AMC that today is not their day. Okay, so here we're getting another engulfing bar. So it's unusual to have so many outside bars here. But you can see here, oh, and I guess we're on a 5-minute bars, huh? But you can see it's a down bar that is beyond the previous bar. That's how to do it. I'm going to zoom in here again so we can see it a little more clearly. This is nutso. This is historic for sure. 100%. Oh, thank you, General Stash. Even though more than half of you think I'm a nut job, I love my newfound home for early morning trading talk. I love it. Thank you guys so much. By the way, we got to 65 likes. Pretty good. It looks like the algorithm is saying it's not good enough. There must be too much competition out there. But that's okay. I'm happy with it anyways. Okay. Did AMC get halted? It looks like it did. Yep. Or sorry, did GameStop get halted? It did. It got halted 2.5 minutes ago. Going back to the sell-offs to cover loss, would you expect most of that to be next Monday, Tuesday when shorts have to be cleared? I do think that if the squeeze might have to happen next week. Like, I think that there's all sorts of games going on with options, and that they're going to deal with that first. So you see this, they halt GameStop, and the E-mini just takes off. By the way, Joseph here. Oh no, I take it back. Oh, Squire got his winner. Okay, yeah, Squire got his winner. And Indy and Joseph are both. Well, Indy went short. They're both making money right now. One of them is going to lose because of the targets. One of them is going to lose probably. You are the best investment streamer. I don't understand how you don't have more subs. Well, so first of all, I don't think that I would ever say. Man. So first of all, maybe I just don't know how to take a compliment. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for saying that. Let me say, I think that there are a lot of great people out there in the trading world. There are a lot of people that are just like literally trying to take advantage of people, and it's just the absolute shittiest stuff, and it makes me so mad. But there are other people that stream that seem to be pretty good at it. And I would never say that like one person is the best. I would just say that people have different advantages. I've spent a lot of time studying market microstructure compared to most retail traders. There's a lot of scholarly literature on this and so forth. And so that's one of the things where I have an advantage. Futures trading is really complicated and sophisticated because it's so technical. Sometimes when I'm watching stocks, like I almost feel like that it's child's play, but it's not. That trading stocks is hard too. But so I think that those are some of the places where I have the advantage. And that's also a disadvantage because I target specifically futures trading. So even though we have a really good foothold in the market, probably like 50% of the futures trading market on YouTube here, that's a really small market. And if we've always wanted to expand into stocks, and I was just kind of waiting for the right opportunity and ways to do it and everything. And I guess now has kind of turned into the right opportunity. Okay, so here's GameStop going again. $1.2 million users online at Wall Street. It really is crazy. Why are there only 80 likes? Well, that's still like a third of you guys, right? It's pretty good. Did somebody else? Oh, Will, you convinced me to realize some profits. Loving the stream. Oh, thank you. Well, I wasn't trying to convince you to. Do you understand? So if I say something, okay, you should never read it as I need to buy or I need to sell. But what it usually will tend to be is, here's a piece of information that you need to know at this time, and then you make your decision. And if that information leads you to making a good trade, then good. Happens all the time. Yeah. But don't say I convinced you to do it, because I didn't. No, I don't. I'm not going to give advice on specific positions. That's why I always say when people ask me what should I do with this position or what's that, if you have to ask me, you probably shouldn't be in it. What did you do to learn stuff? Where would you recommend a person start? What are the resources? Oh man, I could go into this really far, but I'll try and be brief about it. So I started watching things in 2008. The first thing that I would say is consume every piece of financial news that you possibly can. I go to and read Zero Hedge and CNBC every day, look at charts every day, and then the next thing is books. So there are a lot of good books. The books will kind of get you the base that you kind of need. And once you've read a couple of books, I would read a book on technical analysis, even though I don't really believe that technical analysis is very effective. Yeah, Seth likes to reserve his specific advice for his political rants. Yeah, well, let me talk about that in a second. Anyways, so you can get into scholarly articles then. That's the next big space that you go into, is you start getting into scholarly articles and more complicated stuff like models and portfolio theory and market microstructure. Those are some of the words that you would search for. And then I've along with that, I think that everybody, if you want to trade, if you want to be really serious in the markets, I think that having some programming experience really gives you a leg up on people that don't. Okay. Take the indicators, the things that you notice in the markets, and back test them and see if those tendencies are actually what you think that they are. Because so many people just believe what they read on the forums, and there's a lot of that stuff is just not true. Or what is often the case is you'll find it maybe an indicator actually is pretty good, but they don't understand where it's good. They just think, oh, if I just trade this thing, I'll make money. And it's usually way more nuanced than that, How do you get programming experience? You've just got to start doing it. So I have, even if you've never programmed before, I have those beginner videos here on this channel. That's all you need. And then after that, just start pulling up indicators and strategies and reading them and making your own simple ones. And just think about, okay, what do I know how to do right now, and make that. And that's how it's just like trading. You've got to do it. You've got to do it. So that's how I've done it. I'd also say I did work at a firm, and they did a lot of education and stuff there as well. And so I gained a lot of insight from that. But I still think that there's a lot that you can learn on your own. So wouldn't worry about that too much. Well, how do you make it fun? That's tough stick. It's because it really is kind of a personality thing, I think. I guess the thing that makes it fun for me is if it's a problem that I enjoy. So I enjoy trading, and I want to know what the statistics are on something, and so that is what keeps me engaged. So what was I going to say about politics? Oh yeah, we used to talk about politics a lot, but here's the thing, is that the media has basically been doing this thing where they're saying, the Joe Biden presidency is so normal. There's never any interesting news on it. Well, there is actually, he's putting in a lot of executive orders, and there's actually a lot going on. It's just stuff that we've kind of already talked about, and then the market has kind of already factored in. I'm sure at some point they will have to talk about politics again, but for the moment, it's not going to be as influential on trading, simply because the media is kind of trying to not make as big of a deal about Joe Biden. It seems to me. Because, honestly, there's been a couple of things that he said in briefings that I was like, Donald Trump had said that would be that'd be all that anybody was talking about today. But they just ignore it. You can learn by experience, or you can find a mentor. Yeah. And that's where, like, I gotta say, like, especially on the technical analysis side, for instance, there's so many things that people believe that when I go through and I do the investigation on them just aren't true, or they're not applicable to you. And so it's really difficult. Like, you could come in and you could say, oh, I will just follow Seth's channel and he can be my guru and his mentor. And I'll definitely do that. I don't get me wrong. I am all about, like, being accessible. You can message me on Discord anytime. That goes to my phone. If you send me an email, I will respond to it, because there's not very many people out there for you, you know? There's not, you know, I think of it as like, think of me as like the OnlyFans, but for traders. Maybe I shouldn't have said that, but you know why OnlyFans is so popular is you go and you get your thought, and they will always respond to you and talk, and you get that, like, that relationship with them, and it's hard to get that. And it's hard to get that for traders. And so I'm like, I'm willing to be that for you for free, because I learned so much from you guys when I do it. Right? Okay. But ultimately, all I can teach you to do is teach you how to learn and research. That's really what this is about, is finding new information that the market hasn't already factored in, and then executing on it and bringing it into the markets. Trading OnlyFans is the future. Yeah, I have considered getting an OnlyFans and replacing my Patreon with an OnlyFans, because apparently there's, like, way better stuff to interact with and stuff. Because I think that there's a lot of guys that follow my Patreon for the Bitcoin stuff, and they would like to message me. You know, they would talk to me more often if it was, like, more in front of them. But there you go. Let's see, I say that and somebody messages me. If it's a question that I can't, that is, like, private, then I will just respond to it after this stream. Oh, this isn't even somebody. You want to? Well, yeah, because it's a popular thing. I don't know. I've just kind of wondered, like, how many people would actually sign up for it, because you don't have, like, OnlyFans doesn't have to be for adult content. I mean, it just turned into that because it was the only place that allowed it, but it doesn't have to be for adult content. And it seems to me, I've never used it, but I was watching this video from, what was it? I forget what it's called. Charisma. This is YouTube channel where this guy tries to teach you how to have charisma, and he had a video about OnlyFans and kind of explaining how it worked and everything, and I thought it was so interesting, and what he was talking about made so much sense to me, because what it does is it basically allows you to pay for, like, an online girlfriend. Like, she wants to make money, so if you, well, like, let me back up. Like, if you go on Tinder, right, and you match with somebody, and you're a guy, you've got to do, like, all the work, right? You've got to convince them to talk to you. You've got to get a good pickup line, and they don't respond to you, and maybe they're not that engaged in the conversation, and it's like, you as the guy have to do all the work to keep the thing going. And on OnlyFans, because they want to make money, you go and you message them something about what they just posted, they will always respond. And so it's like, all of a sudden, it's like, oh, they want to have this interaction with me, sort of a thing. And so, like, there's this really great thing about it that you know, we don't normally get. And I think that there's a lot of places in people's lives these days, especially with y'all stuck inside from the pandemic and stuff, where you could really use some social connections, even if they were just with people online, that, you know, would benefit you. And that's one of the things that we've been really successful with on this channel, is I would consider that my best friends at this time, of course, I do have friends in real life, but I think that you guys like Ace and Bots, and I even think Gary now at this point is starting to get there, are better friends than any of my friends that I have in real life. We're closer with that, and that's where it's, because this thing is, I took this perspective of, I want to get as close to these guys as possible, and that's how we're able to build this channel where you guys are here like literally every day. most streaming channels, it's like, you know, if you get up to like 1,000 viewers, like probably like a quarter of those people actually are there all the time. But what we get here on this channel, we tend to peak at 50 viewers every day, and it's been like that every day for years because we're so close. You know, it's like part of your life now. You wake up every day, you start trading, and you listen to Seth and you talk with Seth. When was crying yesterday about all the money I lost, who did I turn to? Seth. I just needed myself. Oh, thanks, Ace. Ace took a. Is it okay if I tell them? I won't have to go into like all of it, but the number of ticks was astounding to me. It was an E-mini trade. Well, to be honest, I have no friends. You are the closest to a friend that I got now. Thanks. Hey, thanks, Emmanuel. I'm glad to be here. He said, sure. Okay. Ace caught 24 ticks slippage on a stop loss yesterday. So like he had his stop, the platform crashed on him and he restarted it. The stop was still out there and got executed. But when it got executed 24 ticks below where he put the stop. 24 ticks in the ES. Wasn't the micros, it was the regular ES. I have caught 16 ticks of slippage before on the micros before. So for him to catch 24, it's not like it's unheard of. I'm surprised because I didn't think that the action yesterday was that nutso. But holy crap, right? Yeah, that was an F. He's okay. Like Ace has got a pretty big account. I tell you what, Ace has been trading longer than I have, and he is good at it, and he makes some good money, and it puts him in a hole, but he will get it back. So, but who's your broker? It doesn't have anything to do with the broker. This is just the nature of the market, is if you have a stop loss set there and everybody else has a stop loss set there, and you know, they don't, that's just what happens. Well, the E-mini is just crazy here, man. I'm a little frustrated that my longs that I tried in the E-mini didn't work out, and then I flipped around and I got one to work, but man, I don't necessarily have to trade it right now. I don't think that the E-mini is necessarily going to be like the best thing ever. I would say after all of that subsiding, the trend looks pretty good. It looks like there's probably some more, like you're getting that R trade. Okay, so they have started trading again. It is they're going to try and beat out this other bar. Well, the funny thing is that if they actually are able to get higher, if this is another outside bar, they will have to halt it again, won't they? How much did he lose? Well, we don't have to say how many contracts it was, but it was 24 ticks. 6 points. Yeah, and I looked it up yesterday, Ace. The NinjaTrader manages the stop differently based on who your connection is with, but it basically does the safest thing that you can. So for you, it was, you know, the stop was there, so it had to have been slippage, and I just don't get how you got 6 points of slippage, but 24 ticks, but it looks like that's what happened. Have a normal stop and then an oh shit stop. Yeah, well that's the way that I would recommend. I like on the treasuries. I mean, over here in the ES, I just only have oh shit stops. But in the treasuries, I would have it like I would have a volume stop, and then I would have one just in case that volume stop doesn't work. I know, right? I just can't believe it was the really bad luck is what it was. But when the market gets crazy, that's what tends to happen. We're going to get an inverted hammer on GME. By the way, AMC heading lower. Same Bed Bath and Beyond is the only one that seems to be able to hold it. BlackBerry's down a little bit too. Oh, I should check here. MSTR should be on like a 5-minute chart too. So they're a little bit higher today, so that helps me. Yesterday was just the wrong way to do it. Day to do it, but now I think we're good. Okay, it looks like GameStop is heading down again. Well, it looks like all of them are heading down. Oh, when you came back, your stop had been passed and you had to hit close to get it out. So maybe it didn't, maybe it wasn't actually slippage. Maybe your stop really just literally didn't hit because the platform wasn't on. But you're using CQG, right? I mean, it's supposed to put a server side stop out there. I don't know what happened. That's like really messed up. Yeah, that shouldn't happen at all ever. You see, like if it was me, so if I only have my volume stop out there and my platform crashed, then I don't have a stop, and I don't have a limit order either. Right, but that's why you use like the server side stops, and like one order cancels all stuff is another thing that you might want to have on. Yeah, if it's CQG, it should be stored on the exchange. There must have been some technical issue, because if you had to actually manually alpha on there without there's something that's wrong. I wonder who is buying these GME shares while all the popular no-fee brokers aren't accepting buy orders. I think it's kind of nuts to buy with this amount of volatility. Yeah, well, so one thing I'd point out is like the spread on this is like $1.50 at points. So you just got to remember, I think that everybody kind of thinks of it as like, okay, for it to move up from 400 to 500, it will require X buy orders, and there's some constant amount that you have to buy for it to go up each price. But the reality is much more complicated than that because of liquidity and so forth. So there can be situations where it could move all the way up there on not all that much volume. That just the market making robots and, normal activity could push it up there. What's going on with AMC? I don't know. Maybe somebody's liquidating their AMC so that they can try and hold out in GME. AMC is getting smoked. It's back down to 10. The AMC, they like sold some shares, right? Got predictions for Friday? I don't know at this point. I mean, I kind of thought that Friday would be like a big update, but now, like, with everything else that's going on, the whole thing is crazy. Someone needs to shoot. No, it doesn't work that way, trumped up, unfortunately. You've agreed that they can stop trading in a security, but if they're stopping you in trading GME, I say probably you need a new broker. I think that it's within their rights, and in some cases they really do need to stop trading something because it puts the brokerage house at risk. But ideally they would have their stuff together so that that wouldn't happen, and clearly Robinhood doesn't. like I was saying earlier, I mean, I'm totally upset about it too, but I don't think that Robinhood would do that unless they felt like they absolutely had to. Because they've got, you know, like an IPO that they want to do, and you know that a lot of retail traders are going to leave them over it. Well, now Futures Trader has a good suggestion there, Ace, which is that you may be able to open up CQG Trader. So if you don't have CQG Trader installed, maybe you should install it. I don't think that would necessarily fix the problem because you have to pay extra to have two things connected with CQG, and they don't have the bridge thing like Rhythmic does. But you could, you know, if the one goes down, you could open up CQG and you could do it that way, or you could just straight up use CQG Trader, I guess. For you, you'd probably get away with it. Because you just used like those moving averages and stuff. Well, since opening back up, AMC has been somewhat constrained between 3,600, 360 and 400, let's say. Yeah, I would definitely be mad that it didn't actually put the stop out there is concerning. Let Ace teach you how to make money? Well, so here's the thing, Gary, is Ace gave me a signal and I wrote up a robot and all these tools to do it. And I traded it for a good 3 to 5 months. And I was doing really great. I was up 500 and then I like blew it all in one day. And it wasn't just my own impulsiveness. It was like in that situation, the signal didn't work. So then I did like more back testing on it and everything. And I found that the signal has been working really well while he's been using it. But before he started using it, it actually wasn't that good. And the same thing. Well, that's part of why I want to go over to Edge Clear so that just in case I do go crazy, that I can. What's your biggest? So I don't know what my single biggest win loss is. I think that there was a situation where I had a stop out and I got 16 ticks, and so I lost like $40 on one trade. But that was like the worst. But I've lost 500 in a day, and like I'm a small timer. It's okay. What was I saying? Anyways, so like there's something about how Ace trades it that he doesn't realize, that he's not conscious about, because there are some that he will pass up, and there is some where he will take profits and where he doesn't, that I can't program and I can't figure it out, because there's definitely like there's enough of a signal there that with a little bit of filtering and you let them run, that it's profitable. Yeah. And then the other side of it is that I was always trying to do it with one lot, and probably you do need to have two lots for it to really work. I think a bigger problem that I have, frankly, is days like this. This is why I kind of like stopped touching it, because we had like all of those insane moves, and I got stopped out of those trades after only being in them for a few seconds. There was that second one where I sold it and it flipped right back on me almost immediately, and it wasn't even in it a second, according to Jigsaw. And I think that those are a bigger problem for my trading than anything else. I think that overall, most days I tend to do okay, but then I will get these days where it's like it just doesn't work over and over again. So, your girlfriend is airing your dirty laundry loss out to the public. You need to slap her. She's being mouthy. I haven't made anything. I took 2 losers, a winner and a loser. So overall, I'm down 75. I could start trading again and I could definitely make that up, and it has calmed down now, so I suppose I could try taking those, but I feel like there's more going on here. And I am trying to focus. I want to keep an eye on this GME a little bit too, so I'm kind of... I do have an order out there, remember, so... You can directly execute through CQG in their platforms. So the more complete and expensive one is the integrated. The cheaper one is QTrader, and I guess there are even cheaper ones. Yeah, I thought it was just CQG Trader. Maybe that's called QTrader. But it has a DOM and it has a basic chart. Do you know why Robinhood stopped trading on these stocks? I think I know why. Well, some people think that it's a conspiracy, but I think that they probably looked at the number of options and how much exposure they were going to have to that one single stock. And they said, well, if this blows up in our face, we're going to be on the hook for some of it. I think that's why they did it. I know everybody jumps to conclusions about the sheriffs are coming for our Robinhood. Nah, there's nothing they can do. Like, it's not, if you're going on and you're giving true information out on the internet and other people like what they hear and buy a stock because of it, there's nothing any regulator can do about it. And if anything should be done, it should be about how these guys are able to go short this company and short it into the ground. Yeah. So Ace Trades, the way that it works is if you're on CQG, there are these other platforms that you can download for free provided by CQG that you can just, all you have to do is put your credentials into and it will let you connect. As I was saying, you could go over to what I do. I mean, I'm not going to say that I would recommend it for you because it is more expensive per month. Okay. If you go over to Rhythmic, you pay more money per month. Okay. But what you could do is you could go over to Rhythmic, and Rhythmic Trader Pro, which you can download for free, has a plug-in system. So you turn on the plug-in system and then you can plug in your other trading applications into it. So the data goes into Rhythmic Trader Pro and then it goes out to NinjaTrader and Jigsaw for me. Rhythmic is the data provider. So if you go, I think you're on AMP, right? So you go to AMP and you just redo the data subscription stuff and you change it to Rhythmic, and then you would get full market depth, but you wouldn't be able to get indexes. That's kind of the difference. And Rhythmic Trader Pro is the application that you download from Rhythmic that you can trade on. And then, so you could just run NinjaTrader and Rhythmic Trader Pro together. And yeah. So it would be a little odd because the license that I was using for NinjaTrader didn't allow me to use Rhythmic data. I had to go over to the demo license and then it would allow me to use Rhythmic data. But you can do, if your broker is NinjaTrader, then you can use Rhythmic data. So that's the other side of it. It's all really complicated. Are you still on AMP, or did you move over to NinjaTrader? That's kind of, I guess, another question. Pushing unsophisticated investors into risky investments, accusing the company of using gamification strategies to encourage traders to trade continuously. I don't know, man. Like, They like the stock. Is that what? That's the mantra, right? I don't. People can. It's kind of weird to me. I think that part of with Dorman as my broker. Do you guys need my social security and still? They definitely test you before they let you trade with them, don't they? Well, I got to tell you what. One of the issues that I still have with my robots is they're all trading on the ES, and the one that I have trading on MES, it doesn't trade as well on it. Like, it's looking at the data for ES and putting the trades in MES, and it doesn't get the same prices. So I'm concerned about that. But I do kind of want to trade it. But I really want to go to Edge Clear. I want to trade my E-minis, and I want them to put a hard stop where if I lose $100, they will stop me from trading. And yeah, I think that that'll be better for me. So maybe if I really like these robots and I really do want to go and start trading them live, that I should start a combine from that for them. And just do one of the larger combines that's big enough to handle the drawdown. So let's see here with Dorman. Oh. So you are on NinjaTrader Brokerage. So you can have NinjaTrader Brokerage change your data over to Rhythmic, and then you could do what I'm talking about. And then you could have multiple platforms open so that if NinjaTrader crashes, you could use them. Man, AMC is just getting creamed. The danger I see is third parties paying people and bots to influence certain stocks in regards to Wall Street bets. Well, that's okay. So I dare say that my understanding of the law is that you could make a robot that goes out and posts stuff to try and influence stocks as long as the information that it is disseminating is true information. I mean, that's the game, is there's information and disinformation, and you have to be able to filter through what people are saying and make your own decisions, right? That was always going to happen one way or another, that Wall Street Bets was going to become popular enough that there's going to be a lot of junk, and you're not going to be able to trust everything that they put on there. Oh, I didn't catch that GameStop got halted again. I do have to say, the whole halting and delisting to curb demand, I'm not entirely sure that that's why they're doing it, but if they are doing it, that shouldn't be allowed. But I also don't think it makes a difference. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the shorts have to cover their shorts somehow. They need volume to be able to do it. You let these guys trade it, you know, it doesn't get them out of their stops, right? The only way that this ends is the shorts get out of their shorts. So they can like delist it. They could halt it for 30 days. It won't matter. If your words make people assume something that isn't true, is that illegal? Yes, it is. That is market manipulation. That is primarily what the SEC is talking about when they say that they have prosecuted somebody for market manipulation, was that somebody was spreading false information. Shows they don't understand where this movement is coming from. They think they can just sweep it under the rug and everyone will sell. People aren't even in it for a profit. They want blood. I think you're right, Ethan. I don't think, we don't have any evidence, at least, to show us that that's what the brokers are thinking when they're doing this. Okay. The brokers may just be doing it because all of their traders being in this stock exposes them to a certain amount of risk that they don't want to take on. Yeah, I mean, I'm not in that game either, so I got nothing at stake. But principally, what's happening needs to be allowed to happen. They let it happen the other way all the time. Fair is fair. I agree. It's just like, I don't want Robinhood or any other broker to go under because of risks that their traders were taking. Can a group lead a crowd to buy and hold a stock that is overshorted to drive price to the moon? Yes, as long as you are not directly organizing. So if I came in and I said, okay, guys, we have this volume, we kind of need to spread it out. So everybody who has their last name ends in A through E, you buy it at this time, and E through K, buy it at this time. And if you were doing all that and you made like an agreement in secret or something, that would be market manipulation. I have no confidence in my stop. Call at me if the price gets back down to 66. Okay. Wait, 37, 66? Oh, yeah. Okay. I gotcha. Yeah, because that's where you're long from. Yeah, you just bought it right there on the open and you just held it the whole time, didn't you? Good job. It's actually, I didn't realize how big of an up move it was. But I guess it was a pretty big move from overnight too, so. Do you think that the Bitcoin price is controlled in such a manner? Not exactly. So what's going on in Bitcoin is that there's Tether, and people come in on Tether and they say, oh, I want to buy like $1 million of Tether. And they say, well, tell you what, you give us $1 million and we'll loan you $2 million in Tether. And then you can make that money on the market and you pay us back in Bitcoin. That's what's going on over there. So what you really got is a large number of individual whales that have basically been loaned money is what I think is going on over there. But to the point, there's nothing illegal with a bunch of people getting on a forum and saying, hey, we all like the stock and here's what my strategy is and what I think what I think is the most advantageous stuff for us that want to be long to do. So it opened up, it traded down, and they halted it again. Oh my gosh. This is just getting crazy. How many times has it been halted? Okay, let's go back. Will it let me go back that far? Oh, it won't. Okay, I have to go to the next page. Okay, I'm going to count. 1, 2. Oops. 3, 4, 5, 6. It has been halted 6 times. Okay, well, you know what? This is a good time for me to take... No, I have to stay. Oh, you're back. No, you will be back. Okay. Be quick, because I need to use the bathroom. I'm watching your trade. Market conduct rules, pump and dump. Well, I don't think that this is a pump and dump. I mean... You come out and you say that there's a high amount of short interest and we should just take it and buy it. That's like, what's the point of halts? That is exactly my question, error 404. Like straight up, it seems to me that halts don't actually accomplish what the regulators wanted. I mean, they wanted to stop like flash crashes. Doesn't look like they stopped flash crashes. It looks to me like that people just game the halts. It was more than we like the stock, though. Though this isn't a fundamental play. It was a bone the shorts play, which should be fine in my opinion, but legally this may have. Yes, and I mean, it's not illegal to say that the positioning of the market is such that it favors going long. I think halts can even scare people into selling more. Well, yeah. I mean, I think about those of us that have been sitting here and watching this, and we've seen it halt 6 times. Like, we're not afraid of it anymore. But certainly at the beginning, like the first time that it halted, people definitely did sell, didn't they? So they didn't know what it meant. Like, they thought, oh, it halted. That means it's over. I need to get out. But it doesn't. It just means that it stops trading for 5 minutes. But people game the stops. They really do. I feel personally that the market sell-off that we had last February, March would not have been as extreme if it were not for the halts, because the futures traders on the E-minis basically knew that if they could push it to this 5% thing, that it would be halted, and then when it would open up, that it would open up even lower. So they just wanted to go short and take it down. And there was some reason for the buyers to come in and buy it, and we actually saw this and we took advantage of it, where you could buy it there when it was limit down, and somebody would come in and buy it back and push it back up as they got out of their trade. And then you caught a little bit off of that. But ultimately, there was more incentive for people to just go short and wait for it to go the other way when it opened back up. And that's exactly what happened. And so we had this thing where it was down 5%. It opened up. They go to 7%. They'd halt it. Then it'd go down to 14%. They'd halt it. And then finally, it opened up even lower. Could have taken it off then. And then finally, it reversed, They were gaming it, and I think that they should change it. Now, they did change it so that it was like these flexible ones. But, I mean, come on. AMC is down 60% today? Yeah. Okay, so here's GameStop is trading. So do you see it? Like, look, it opened up lower than the previous candle. Now they're buying it afterwards, but it almost always is the case that after the halt, they will open up further. Think this could be classified as manipulation of the market? I have an idea to improve your stream. Overlay a small transparent box on your stream that contains part of the YouTube chat. So that's interesting that you say that, Stick, because I used to have that. And then when we moved over to YouTube and it was there on the side and the chat is like shows up on the replay, there was kind of no point in doing it. And I kind of like it this way. I think that you can see more. So how many monitors do you have? I have 3. I have 3 27-inch monitors that are all 2560 by 1440 resolution. They're all different. 2 of them are Asus, but one is like a 144 hertz monitor. One is just kind of a cheap monitor, and the other one is a Dell monitor. If I was going to recommend you a monitor brand to get for day trading, I think I would go with the Dell, because I think that their form factor is better. And I would get one with the smallest bezels you can get. Room tour. So I have the most popular video on my channel, which is day trading computer hardware, what matters, or something like that. It's the most, you can't miss it. It's like the most viewed video on my channel. And even though it's not like a showcase the room or anything, but you see quite a bit of the room and you see what I'm using and I talk about it and stuff. Well, look, AMC actually turned around there from $8 to $9. Well, hey, you think that they will come and hit my order? Jordan Belfort, author of Wolf of Wall Street, says the government will have to step in at some point, but this will take 3 to 6 months. CNN said, why shouldn't the small guys be able to band together? Yeah, I mean, this is what I'm saying, is that, like, you can share information. You can, like, take the same trades. You can tell each other, like, what is the most efficient strategy and things like that, as long as you're not directly coordinating buys and sells. Because if you go in and you say, okay, you put a buy limit order out there and I will hit into it, and then or no, maybe you say, let's do it the other way. I'll say, okay, you put your limit order out there where you make $5 and I'll hit up into the market and hit into you and get you out of your position. And then we'll do it the other way. And so these two guys just keep, and you could manipulate the market that way. And so that's not allowed. You have a course in mentoring. I don't have a course. You can message me anytime. And I will tell you, I do offer things, but the thing that I'm always like, if I'm going to offer you something, you should get something off of it. So I'll show you. Here's a couple of things that you can do to support the channel. One is you can donate here on chat, and I get that. And those are always great. And I appreciate those a lot. Another one is you can buy this Trader Gonna Trade mug. And I would prefer, if you're going to put $15 down into this channel, that you would go and buy the mug instead of giving it to me here on YouTube, because then you get something back. And I think that these mugs are awesome. So there's a link for that in the video description below. It's the Stream Elements link. There's also a link to my website, speculatorseth.com, where you can download my NinjaTrader 8 indicator package. And then you can subscribe to the channel for $10 a month, and you can use that package. And then again, you're getting something else. You're getting what I use. So you're getting something back, right? Otherwise, another thing you can do is, I'm really into Yada. I got a couple of you guys went in and started a Yada account yesterday after I told you about it. But if you go to Yata, and there is there's a Android and Apple application. So just go onto the App Store and download Yada. And it's a savings account. But instead of paying you interest, the amount of money that you have in the account gives you a lottery ticket. So if you have like $50 or $60 in the savings account, then it gives you 6 tickets every week. And then you make money off of the tickets, and that's how they pay you interest. And you actually make more than a traditional savings account. So this is where, like, I would put your rainy day fund in there. Or like if you have extra money that you're not trading, but if anything ever happens, you put it into your trading account, you can use Yada. So if you sign up for Yada, use the referral code SpeculatorSeth. All one word, SpeculatorSeth. And if you use that referral code, you will get bonus tickets. I will get some bonus tickets, and you will get some bonus tickets. And the bonus tickets actually are worth something. Like it's like $10. So you sign up for Yada, use my code. We both get like $10. So that's another way that you can help out the channel if you want. But the other thing that I would say is, don't feel obligated to do it. I have a day job, and I do pretty good with that day job, and this is kind of a side thing, and I would love to be able to do this full time someday. I don't know if that's ever going to happen, but I know that people want to say, like, this is a good service, I want to keep it going, and you do that, because what you get when you contribute to the channel in one of those ways is it allows me to put more resources into different things. Like, one of the things that I need to get right now is I need to get like a microphone for a lavalier. I tried buying a cheapo one, and it just didn't work out. I'm going to have to buy like a $500 system, which is a lot. And then I can do more videos over here on the Blackboard. So there's those sorts of things. Can you add this to your description? You mean the Yada link? Oh, I'd have to, hold on a second. Because there is a link. Let me pull it up here. Yeah, hold on. It'll take me a second to get it, because I can only get the link off of my phone. Share. And I will share it with myself. Or can I just copy it to the text board? Let's see. I will just use it. Oh, here we go. Copy. Okay. And come on Discord. And I will put it here in the Discord announcements channel. And just put that, I can delete that later. And now I can come over here into Discord on my machine, and I can go to announcements and copy message link and put that one into the video description. I'll just do that whole thing. Open an FDI insured savings account with Yada. Well, I'll put it at the bottom. Just ahead of the hypothetical performance disclosure. No, come on. Didn't copy. Control C. Control. Come on. Control V. There we go. Save. So now you got the link is in the video description. So you can use that. I love Yada because the thing that's so cool about it is you get like, especially when you first sign up, because you get the bonus tickets, because it's only like $10 per ticket or $20 per ticket, I think, something like that. But when you sign up, you get like 250 tickets, right? And it will alert you every day at 7:00 unless you turn that off, what the number is, and then you can go in and see how many of your tickets had that number. When do you think you'll start trading live again? That's like, I could be trading live right now. Every time that I start to feel confident again, we'll get some volatility, and the volatility will kill me. So what I would really like to see is like a really good bout of volatility that brings the S&P 500 down significantly. And then maybe we could pick it up, what it will, like, once I know that volatility is over and we're back into another really clear bull regime like we were at in the summer, then maybe I will feel a little bit more confident. It's either that or build up a little bit more data on these robots. Like, part of it is that I'm kind of in like a development process right now. There's a couple new trades that I want to test out. They're going okay. Some days they're really bad. So I think that I need to do a little bit more investigation into risk management. I bet you there's probably some other things that I could do to try and manage the risk of it. Like if there's a drop, it's so far and so much that to just get out of it or something like that. So is GME dead already? Well, they are so close to my order. Come on. Filled. Okay, guys. All right. You stop selling your GME now. Just hold. I am filled. So now it can only up now. Only let it go up now. All right. All right. Well, Ace. Okay. Ace is back. FUOS. Yes. Get to 6 so I can take your money. Look, it went. You got it. Good job, Ace. Okay. So now I'm going to go and take my break. I'll be right back. GME does not fill that. Well, the price action just looks terrible, right? So let's investigate this and let me try and explain again, as we have done so many times this week, why this happens. A bunch of people buy here. Okay, they have an impact like this. Okay. At this point, there's so many people that there's the impact of the they still have the same impact. So don't get me wrong. It's like, if you put in a 20 and then you put in a 25, it's just that 25 still has an impact. It's not a whole lot more impact than the 20, right? So, but then a sell 20 has like more impact. So you get this. This is the impact of these cells right here, right? So what happened was there was some real insanity overnight that I think was probably just more the illiquidity of the market or whatever. And then there was a craziness here on the open because people bought in there and that came out. These cells are having a larger impact. Okay. But never fear, because there's like limitations here on this, right? Who's selling it? Unless you got some big guys getting out here, right? There's going to be a point at which there's these buy orders. A big buy order will have a larger impact than the big sell order. So then you would buy it. This is why you don't want to chase, really, because it basically, especially if you're big, it's better for you to do your trade when like the momentum is against you. You'll have more impact on the market at that point. Make sense? Is volume low because all these brokers are stopping buys? It could be. I tell you what, if these like stocks like completely fall apart and that was the end of it because of the brokers, then there'd be hell to pay, right? People could be very upset. Now AMC is looking okay, but it looks like AMC got halted. Okay, so here is GME going again. There's also BlackBerry and BBY. I actually, it's funny because I keep saying that, like, you know what, like, I don't know how I feel about AMC, but now I'm kind of like, I think the BlackBerry is the one that I'm like not so sure is like makes sense. Bed Bath & Beyond is probably okay. But now I'm starting to think like actually AMC is probably an okay one to punch. But they keep saying like focus on GameStop. I think that's probably correct. But I'm not convinced. So let's pull up the volume here, shall we? Volume. Yeah, it's really not. There's just a lot of volume overall consistently. Look, it comes down and it halted again. That's nutso. So I'm already down $50 on that position, aren't I? Boo. Well, how are we doing on these other ones? Oh, okay, so my MSTR is actually a little bit better than it was. Oh wait, sorry, we need to do today's gain and loss, yes. Yes, okay, so REMF is maybe the only one that's really doing okay. Sumo actually down. Oh, well, okay, so Goldman finally having an okay day. 1.74 up, that's okay. Are brokers allowing people? Well, I mean, I think that they always allow people to sell. I honestly, well, so I thought 25, I was like, there's no way that's going to fill. Well, this happens to you sometimes, right? It just goes right through you. It's not the broker, but the exchange that halts, right? Yes, that's correct. It is the New York Stock Exchange that does the halts. If you come over here and you look at this, sorry, nicey.com/trade halt current, it will actually tell you who halted it. So if it was somebody else, If the NASDAQ halted it, then you'd get that, but that'd be too much power for a broker. Yeah, probably. So I think that we should come out and we should read what Wall Street Bets is saying here, because that was a pretty, so here, you know what I was saying was another thing I've been saying a lot of is you want like consistent trend, and I'd say that's pretty consistently down for the day. And it's below yesterday's levels. I would not say it is like over, but let's just look what are their top threads this hour? What are they saying? We've got about 20 minutes left in the stream. What did we get to? Oh, about 200. That's okay. So 1,706 playbacks. So isn't that amazing? So there are a lot of people that come in and they don't stay, and that's okay. Been gone 10 minutes. What happened? The short plays, the short covering plays have gotten creamed here. So GameStop is down 50%. So what should we should rename the stream, right? Because it's no longer the story though. They're up big again overnight. GME Diamond Hands as short cover plays decline. Free market today, my butt. Yeah. Here's the thing though, is like they can do whatever they want. Like, who's selling it? There's the question. Who's selling it? That's what you got to ask yourself. Who's selling it right now? Is it just the market makers letting it come down, or somebody taking some profits? I think that taking some profits up there at like 450 would be prudent, right? As long as they're holding, it's, there's nothing they can do about it because the shorts have to cover. What's your statement about Robinhood app? My statement is that they probably really didn't want to do it. And it's going to really hurt Robinhood. I haven't seen anything on Twitter here, actually. Sorry, I didn't really have Twitter on. Pelosi says we'll pass a reconciliation bill if we need to. Nokia nostalgia squeeze from hell. Oh, Peter Davies was in a Benzinga article. That's cool. Bitcoin could still lose most of its value, Dahlia warns. Oh, hey. Where's that one? MSTR is still doing okay today, and Bitcoin unfazed. I think it's gonna go. I got it. I got my put. 153. Oh, come on. People are saying that VW dipped really hard before the massive squeeze. Could that be happening here? Probably, yeah. Actually, I think so. That could be happening here. They halted it again. So somebody is messing with the halts. Let's see, what have I been missing here in Discord? The guys in the equity indexes channels. Watch the silver market, something is afoot. Well, gold had a good run earlier this morning. Was that since we started trading? Yes, it is. At 6:30, they pumped up gold. Oh, interesting. But that was probably because of the dollar. That's probably because of the dollar. dollar and this big move in treasuries, like they all move together in tandem. This is like riding a roller coaster that hits the brakes every 15 feet on the big drop. I'm okay with it, honestly. I think it's probably good. I mean, let me put it this way. This stuff over here, was a little crazy. It was a little too crazy overnight, and even at the open. So I keep saying you don't want to chase it, because that's what happens. But it also looks to me like the whole we've closed all the brokerages for a day, so it's going to go down. That is having an impact. I mean, GME 24 million shares, and again, we've been trading like 175 million shares some of these days. Somebody's gonna have to cover, and it may have to be after the options expiration. Nice. I know. He's like, oh look, you lost $100, Seth. That's okay. I'm still up. If they dip below 80, then I'll be pissed. If they dip below 80, then I'm going to start being wondering like, oh, did I somehow end up becoming the bag holder? Oh no. You know what else I think is going on here, though, is I think that some retail people are getting scared. So they think, the big guys, they stopped it all for us, and there's nothing we can do. But I don't think that that's the case. I don't think that even if they shut down all the brokerages, even if they shut down GameStop for 30 days, I don't think they can stop it. You're going to buy at 100 for the dead cat? I tell you what, if they go to 100 again, okay, one share at 100. Time and force. Well, we'll only do for the day. Buy one, limit, preview, place. If they are so kind. This drop is tragic? I don't know. I mean, it's a pretty big drop, actually, isn't it? This is 55% is a huge drop. I will make space for you on my rocket. I will totally catch a falling knife. 100%. Somebody's saying that, with Spot Gamma saying that the implied volatility top is probably in. Zero Hedge asks, is it over? Raising margins, restricting access, blocking position building, and widespread condemnation appears to have done the trick for now. GME is halted down 56% this morning after topping $500 briefly in the brief market. So is it over? Big question mark. And then there's nothing. That's it. Well, do people still see the shorts have covered? I don't know. I don't see people yeah, so let's come back to Wall Street bets, because we never looked at that, right? Oh, it got halted again. Like it's literally like bar halt, bar halt, bar halt, bar halt. Oh man. What was I saying? Okay. People accusing Citadel of collusion. Read this if you are scared. RH keeps digging itself a bigger hole. Ben Shapiro. Ah, that's funny. Always buy the dip. Yeah. I have to say, if this turns out, I'm going to say it's quite fortuitous for me, right? But I could lose it all. It would be okay. Because I'm all playing with the house's money at this point. Surprise, surprise. Here comes 100. Could be. We'll make a buy. I bet you there can be lots of people at 100. We'll make a buy wall there. I'm buying back in. I am. Oh, your stop held. Oh wait, did we? Oh, you probably trailed your stop up, huh? I wonder. Well, I never got a confirmation that he actually bought anything in GameStop. Just that he tweeted about it, right? Could be wrong. Okay. I know this GameStop stuff is funny, but you have to remember this is hurting real people who own multiple boats. Right. Oh, man. Oh, now I wonder. Let's come back over here. Okay, hold up. We should be... Okay, GME. GameStop. So what are they at 100? Oh, they're still asking for... Wow, puts are expensive. Calls are expensive. Look at this. Calls are worth more than the stock? What? Wait. You buying a call... Wait, okay, so that's for February 19th. Okay. You buying a call that is 20% out of the money, and they are charging you twice what the stock is. For that. Oh my gosh. Okay, what about the weeklies over here though? The ones that are like literally about to expire. And we go to 100. Oh, there's still the same thing. That's nuts. That is crazy. I'm reading that right? That the calls are on the left side. Yeah, calls. Oh man, yes, I read about that, Gary Rich. I was seeing all these people saying that Pelosi had bought Tesla, and then that came out. But you know what? Tesla is down now, and I don't know what price she got them at. But well, we should go back. Let's see how the Tesla been doing for the day. How's my Tesla? Tesla. Okay, yeah, they recovered some of their overnight losses, but not all of it. Apple, same thing. Apple trying to recover, but not all the way there. Oh, that's sad that Sumo Logic came all the way back down. That's okay though. So I don't think she actually make money on that, right? Well, it depends. Depends on what price she got, doesn't it? Depends on what price she got the calls for. Her husband runs a venture capital firm. Well, sometimes you just get unlucky, right? They had informed information and it ended up not mattering because of the earnings, right? What do you think about the correction in the market? I don't think that the GameStop thing is over. Really don't. I mean, you think that they're just going to keep GameStop locked? You know, all day and into tomorrow and next week, and you can never buy GameStop again? Maybe? I don't know. Like, Hillary Clinton did this with cattle futures and made $100K, I bet. They make all sorts of good trades. Okay, it's unhalted. I don't think that they traded 100. Yeah. I tried to buy somewhere at 120, but trading 212 is shit. What do you think GameStop thinks about this? I think they're loving it. Oh man, if I was a GameStop insider, I would be selling shares. Oh, I would be. And they can do an offering at some point. Oh, I saw your message, Patelia. I have to ask again. So there was like a correction, but like we're back up. It looks like the reason that there is being a correction is because there are concerns about liquidations in some of these short covering plays that does causing them to close out profitable positions to pay for their losses. But I think that in the end, the shorts will get squeezed out, and then the markets will readjust and they'll go back up. What warranted that halt? Did they halt it again? Really? You got to be kidding me. Jeez. Yeah, they did. They halted it again. It literally came in. They unhalted it, moved up $10 to $12, and they halted it again. but I think that the how do I say it? I think that the halt qualification is if it moves more than 5% in a 5-minute period. So the further down it gets, like the less, you know what I mean? The less of a move it takes for it to halt because it's a percentage of the price. I think my stream is bugging. It could. I mean, YouTube is probably on and off. We'll see. So hold on. I should. Oh boy. Okay, reporting from AP News. The first variant of coronavirus 19 from Africa has had a case in the United States in South Carolina. That's bad. I think you saw that one. They're not reacting to it, though. Look at them treasuries. Oh, you know what? If the treasuries come back up here, we should do this. We should do like stop limit. Oh, wait. Just in case they like pop back up. The Weeble is down. Well, now this is kind of an interesting thing with this zero commission thing, is that if they're not making money off of you trading directly, they don't really have an incentive to let you keep trading it, do they? That's a curious thing that we never really thought about, isn't it? Greg says, hopefully this GME stuff is done. We can get back to futures trading. I'm glad that we got hundreds of viewers, but it's not what we do. Yeah, I feel you, Greg. Well, I think that we'll always be watching some stocks to some extent, but I look like they're just so depressed, these treasuries. Like they're well beyond. So how far could this go? 137.04 half maybe even would be a significant drop. It'd be like one of the biggest drops we've seen in days. And I had no clue that it was not even on my radar. Ameritrade is letting people buy GME and AMC now. Apparently, I've been able to buy this whole time in Fidelity. Doesn't look like they're gonna hit my buy order at 100 though. I would be, if I get 100 and then it goes back up, I will listen. That'll be like a legendary trade. That'll be like, Seth, your bottom fishing finally worked out for you and you hit big. So long as the shorters are still in the squeeze, it was still, yeah, probably. I mean, think about it. You scare all these retail traders out of buying out, and then what's going to happen? It's going to bump back up to 400, and then they're all just going to buy at a higher cost basis. Did they just halt it again? You've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. Just let it trade. This is upsetting me. I need to tweet about this. Hashtag, can we all just admit now that circuit breakers don't work at all? Just let them trade. Hashtag GME. Tweet. How can I share your feed to my friends? Oh, that's a good question. So if you go into the video description below, you will find something that says permanent live stream URL. And that is the link that I would give them. And if you want to come in every day, you can bookmark that page, and that's how you can watch the stream, because that link never changes. But you can also just click the share link below. You should get a share link below. See, I'll show you. You can just come in here and you can click the share button and copy that link. When is all done? It's 5 to 10 minutes. By default, it's 5 minutes, and then they can choose to keep it going if they choose. So that halt was at 11:30. So we can wait another 3 minutes, 2 minutes, and they should come out. Check Trump Jr.'s feed. Ooh, I have him. Really? I don't see anything about that. When AOC and Donald Trump Jr. are on the same side, you know you fucked up. Yeah, that's funny. If they take down Wall Street bets, they better take down every single Wall Street hedge fund that has been endlessly using gangster tactics to make a quick buck. He's not wrong. They just aggregated enough small retailers in an open forum to move markets like the big guys. It's actually amazing to watch. It's true. It's not. There's nothing wrong with it. CNBC is now saying we have some professionals on our side. I'm sure that there's always been, to some extent, yeah. Look at this. I might get hit. And what is the mini doing? The E-mini is just slow and go on its move up. It looks like the correlation kind of came out of the market. It's getting a little random. That's a very good stream. Why don't you do a trade stream? Well, we are doing a trade stream. I took 3 live trades today. 3 live orders today. I didn't do the live trades in the E-mini though. That's what we should be doing. But man, I don't know if it's just that I haven't been 100% focused on it or what, but I have just not been on the ball with the E-mini trades. And so today it was so volatile and I was like, okay, I'm done. Plus, why do I need to trade when my robots are doing that great? Not that those are live, but I mean, come on. I think that is the single largest gain in my, oh no, it's unrealized 1500. Yeah. Well, let's come in here and look at, oh, actually we can just do it here. We can go to trade performance and we can look at how have the robots been doing. I'm sure that, oh, they've actually been losing money. Well, that's since the 21st. I think that we want to go back to the beginning of the month, actually. Okay, so they are down, but then I can come in here to the analysis. Oh, but today is an up day. Oh, okay. Kind of interesting. They were doing kind of well. And then what day was it? It was the 25th. It was earlier in the week. Yeah. It was Monday. Monday was such a weird day. Oh, but you know what? It shouldn't be. Yeah. Okay. I should just put him on a new account. Okay. So it's actually not that bad. It was just that on that day, one of the new robots was on and we're changing him. But I think that if you just add like the other guys that were okay. So I should come in, I can make like an add a new account. And this can be the noob account. This can be the noob account. Oh, really? You have to oh, okay. I gotcha. And then I can come in here into my strategies and I can say, Jay, you have to be separated from the others. You have to be separated from the others because you do so poorly right now. Okay. Wow, it jumped right up to 196 and they halted it again. Well, I bought 250. Sucks that they didn't hit me at 100. I could have done it. I could have done it. It's a recession in GME. Somebody needs to buy more tacos. That's good to have your robots trade for you while you play with peasant stocks. Yeah, right. I have to say, that's really good. Now, why isn't that more? Because that one was, oh, yeah, I know why. Because it was because of these did terrible. I turned them off, right? He lost $2,000 and I turned them off. But look, between these three, it was almost $3,000. So I'd say this is working the way it's supposed to. Indy has some issues. Don't get me wrong. Indy in particular. If we, I'd have to say, I have to come back and I can right click on him. I can do real time and historical. Yeah. And I don't know how far back it'll go for me, but I'll only go back a few days. So there are some days where it loses money. Like on the 25th, it did legitimately lose money, but it should never lose more than $1,000. Then it should stop trading, right? And then today they made a lot of it up. Like the thing that's great about it, like it gets drawdowns. Definitely gets drawdowns. It has problems, but when it makes money, it makes so much more that it just works out. This is unacceptable. We now need to know more about Robinhood's decision to block retail investors from purchasing stock while hedge funds are freely able to trade the stock as they see fit. As a member of the Financial Services Committee, I'd support a hearing if necessary. This is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez tweeting, I never thought that I would be happy to read a tweet from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. What the fuck? Is this real? Is this reality? Am I dreaming? I have a test. My test is, okay, no. No, I'm not dreaming. I tried all my totems. I'm not asleep. Man. AOC, you should have waited. You should have waited until, the stock wasn't halted. 196. We're going to be right back up. We're going to hit 500 before the end of the day. That'll just be the cherry on top. If you go through all of that and then in the end we end up. That would be so crazy. We're in a simulation. I don't get what you say that she's hot. I don't see it with AOC. The thing that bothers me about AOC is that she's like my age. And I've spent like so much of my life like learning this stuff. And then she comes out and she says all this stuff that just is like, you have absolutely no clue. And she's a congressman. You know what I mean? It won't be like that for long. If she's on the financial services committee, she's going to learn so much doing that probably you give her a good year or two and she will know so much in comparison to me about what goes on in the industry that it won't even be funny. But for now, she just frustrates the hell out of me watching some of the things she says sometimes. Yahoo Finance saying short percentage of shares outstanding as of January 14th was 488. That's old data anyways, but please don't share any information that make sure that any information you share is correct. Okay, 88%. Well, if it's down, then I guess that's good, but that doesn't mean that they're all out. She's a sensationalist. Well, it's not that she's a sensationalist. It's that a lot of the stuff that she says is based off of her ideology, not reality. And they push a lot of ideas that, like especially this tax on financial transactions and stuff is like a really bad idea. I cannot stress how bad of an idea it is. Like from a market microstructure perspective, if they increase the cost of the spread, it's just going to create so much havoc on the market. And they really could just like decide to move the trade somewhere else, go back to London or something like that, Madi, you got something right. What did you get right? Oh, you take it short? Well, if you took it short, I'd take your profits. Because it's coming back up. Oh, and there's 2 points. So you see, if you guys listen to Ace unlike I do, I usually ignore him. You can make some money. It's politics. Yeah, it's not. It's more than politics. It's people. Okay, guys, I've got to get going because I've got a meeting in 9:45. I had a lot of fun today. Are we all good with the title? Listen, if I ever post a title and you think you have a better title, put it in the comments afterwards, because what will happen is I will end the stream here. YouTube will process it for like 20 minutes, and then if you come back to my channel, you'll be able to watch this whole thing on replay. And what we will often do is we'll go into the comments and comment about what happened afterwards. So it's worth coming back to the video and reading the comments and interacting there. Anyways, can you say here we go like in the US? I don't know how they do that. How do they say it? Well, listen, this is rocketing. This is hot damn. I'm so mad they didn't fill my limit order. I'm going to cancel it. Cancel order. You know what? Maybe it made a difference. There was the wall there. They weren't going to get through 100. We did it, boys. All right. Stay profitable, friends.